Uigdiagdite, yes. Yes, I'm pronouncing that correctly. The Uigdiagdite summoning was weird and ended up with, like, my paws turning into hooves and my tail turning into a peacock's tail, but it worked, and that's what's important. I don't get the Chimera transformation thing either. This is, like, uncharted waters for me. But, what's worse, it ran off, well, God's nowhere, but, like, it ran off before I could speak with it. But what I'm trying to say is these summonings, they totally work. You're bringing up the Fresno Nightcrawlers? You realize those are just legs, right? Yeah, the Uigdiagdite's legs looked like that, sure, but, like, it had a torso and also arms and also a head. Listen, I only brought up the Nightcrawlers because, okay, so this is gonna sound like, that's a weird Forsetti thing, but I have a friend who visits me once every month for a paranormal story, and I'm doing the Nightcrawlers tonight, so they're just on my mind. They are not like the Uigdiagdite. They are entirely different from the Uigdiagdite. Honestly, I might need to call you back. They should be coming over any second now. Yeah, you can take that line as diegetic as you want to. They're actually probably right here listening right now. I only joke. But yeah, thanks for calling. I'll try summoning the fungal deity duder when the spring rolls around. Thanks, though, for the recommendation. I'm looking forward to that one. Call you later, though. Bye.
Oh, hello again. Totally sorry for not opening the door earlier. I was on the phone. Oh, you were expecting me to be talking to someone through a weird bubbling cauldron or something, were you? Nah, I have a phone. How do I get cell reception out here, you ask? Well, okay, so I use magic for that, but that's not important. It's story time, if I'm not mistaken. And tonight I've decided to share a story with you that doesn't require 17,000 words worth of historical information. This story started in ... 2007. Have you heard of the Fresno Nightcrawlers? No? Maybe the Carmel Area Creature? Little leggy boys, they run around a lot, cause mischief. No? Well, that's perfect, because that'll make the story more suspenseful. Oh, who was I calling? You wouldn't know them, just a magical witchy associate from my magical witchy circles. They're fun. Oh, it's not Zuma the Puma. Actually,
I'm right here.
He's in the episode 2. He was right behind you. How did you not notice him? Is it that dark out?
You're just trying to hide deep lore again, aren't you?
I assure you, I'm only trying to feed you little lore pieces in small little bites to build suspense and mystery. Nothing else. You can trust me. Now do a goat noise again, because it'll be distracting.
Please, don't bring up the goat thing again.
I won't bring up the goat thing again.
Welcome to the foxhole at Foxxo Esoterica. I promise I was sober when I wrote this.
Welcome back to Foxxo Esoterica, the paranormal comedy podcast where ghosts gather, aliens assemble, and cryptids come to collaborate. But if I'm being honest, cryptids mostly come to cuddle. I'm your host, Forsetti Fox, the pagan fox whose birthday is this month and whose Patreon page is still capital F-O-R-S-E-T-I capital F-O-X. Speaking of things that are happening this month of March, though, I'm married now. Zuma the Puma and I are finally officially husband and husband, and my name is now officially Forsetti the Puma, but rest assured I am still a fox. Jokes aside, we had our wedding on the 10th in Reno, because it's objectively easier for international couples to get married in the state of Nevada, a process we have been spending a lot of time looking into. We also got married the day before my birthday, though, which is kind of like the anniversary equivalent of having your birthday fall on Christmas Eve, but at least it'll make that date really, really easy to remember. All being said, though, this has been an incredible month and a tremendously joyful time, not to mention a massive bureaucratic weight off of our shoulders in terms of us two being able to live together in the future. Now, I'll try to have a YouTube video up explaining the whole story of how we've just been trying to get married and why it involved us doing so much traveling. But for those who are just now joining the podcast, Zuma, my then fiancé and now husband, is a German citizen, and I'm an American, and the pandemic has made that a living nightmare. The long story will be explained in the video, and probably talked about in the podcast episode tonight, actually. But, just so you know, Zuma's going to be a guest on it. Also, talking about YouTube videos, I have been planning on working on my YouTube channel just a bit, and definitely posting more than just Foxxo Esoterica podcast episodes and, well, life updates. I'll try to do more than those two things. But I'll post a link to that in the description once it's up. But yeah, speaking of guests, this episode is going to feature beloved and cherished friends of mine and all returning guests. We'll be joined by my husband, Zuma the Puma, as well as returning guests and gracious hosts who have since moved to San Francisco and have been wonderfully generous in their housing of us and driving us to Reno and being fantastic. Kay the Puppy and Crimson the Wolf. And yes, I am aware that this season is a slow and methodical crawl westwards in terms of where I've been recording, and it is quite hilarious to me that has happened like 4 episodes in a row. But I promise I'm not going to miraculously end up in Japan for the next episode. There is also a 100% chance I'm making that joke when I'm recording it, but I don't remember, so if you hear it joke twice, that's because it's funny. But without further ado, let's actually talk about a paranormal story. Tonight's legend is going to be a local one, at least state-wise, as we talk about the Fresno Nightcrawlers, little leggy cryptids who are far more modern than anything I've discussed recently, inasmuch as they've only popped up first in 2007, and as some claim, are seen to this very day. Also, one last bit of housekeeping. I am only able to upload one video this month and probably next month also. If I haven't mentioned it before, I have been getting married and traveling often, and am quite busy. Without further ado, though, let's meet our guests. Or I guess, see them again. You've all met them. Welcome back to Foxxo Esoterica, everybody. I haven't done this for a month, and I forgot how to podcast. How are you all doing this evening?
Oh, you're talking to us.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you were, like, addressing your listeners, and then I was like, wait, that doesn't make any sense.
I did, and then I, without even a beat, just pivoted to talking to you all. There was
no
worries on there.
I'm not really listening.
Oh, that's mean. I'm doing good.
So I can't hear you being a bitch over there.
Wait, I'm like quite loud about my bitchiness.
I forgot. Is this a Safe for Work podcast or not?
I'm literally not wearing pants right now.
Okay, so it's not. All right, just check it.
Well, the viewers can't see that, or can they? Check out Foxxo Esoterica OnlyFans.
Patreon. I have some credentials. I haven't stooped to that level yet. Foxxo Esoterica OnlyFans coming out next month. So yeah, we're what's going on in my life? I think I'm going to do the life stuff, and I'm going to go through it because I'm 100% doing a recording about this in the sober intro that precedes this little audio bit. But this episode's taking place in California because this season of Foxxo Esoterica, I keep making my way westward on the globe. Every episode, I get a little bit more westward, and next episode, I'm going to be in Hawaii, maybe. Because, like, literally, we did one in Germany, and then Scotland, and then I did one in Michigan, and now we're in California.
I could work from Hawaii.
Yeah,
you could.
You gotta do Hawaii first, and then you gotta do Japan. It's like we gotta move all the way across the globe until we're back in Germany.
Oh, that seems expensive.
It is. But everybody will subscribe to my Patreon, and it will pay itself off.
I'll take over Kazakhstan for you.
I don't want it.
This is
why
why easy
I'm paying over for you.
That's true.
to fund your lavish travel.
Hey, everybody on Foxxo Esoterica, you want to see me naked? You want to see me in Hawaii? Subscribe to the OnlyFans Foxxo Esoterica page I will be putting out. But yeah, this evening I have nothing but returning guests, although I don't think everybody has been in the same episode. We have the illustrious Kay the Puppy, the magnanimous Crimson the Wolf, and Zuma the Puma. He's over there.
Yeah, former sailor, future airman.
He used to be a seaman, and
that was the joke, yes.
There's a better punchline that a better comedian will make.
Yeah.
He just did it. Thank you, Crimson.
I got you, fam.
I like wind facts. They're tasty. Are those a pastry in America?
They're not.
I think
it's like you call them something. You call them something really weird because when I got a milkshake with it, I had no idea what I was gonna get.
What is a windbag?
What the fuck is a windbag?
Proliferols?
Profiterole.
Profiterole. That's what I heard. Yeah.
Okay.
They're called profiteroles. It's called
they're cream
in
puffs.
German. Yeah, cream puffs. Exactly. Yeah. Called wind facts in German. Right, little
funny. Every time anybody says windbag, I immediately think of bagpipes.
For some reason, they're like always stale.
Yeah, right.
Like
I don't think
understand.
I've ever had a fresh windbag in my entire life.
I just stopped ordering them like a decade ago because they were just always stale.
I remember getting the little frozen ones, like the box of eclairs.
Yeah, they're stale.
Oh, okay. Now I know what we're talking about.
I've literally gone to a pastry shop.
Those little cream-filled pieces of...
Yeah.
That was disappointing.
I've gone to a pastry shop and gotten supposedly fresh ones, and they still tasted stale, so I don't know what's up with that.
Okay, speaking of Hawaii...
Also, if you are a big fan of eclairs or cream puffs, please post in the comment section. It engages the algorithm.
Ooh.
Donuts also...
Feed us your rage.
If you like getting your mouth all over a thick, poofy donut...
Oh, sorry, the Spotify
He is on
comment
YouTube.
section.
He is on YouTube, though.
Oh, okay, that works
yeah.
then.
I got multiple avenues of streaming. I was gonna say we had a Hawaiian barbecue moment yesterday where everybody had a really good time eating the barbecue, but they also had a bakery shop that was connected to it, and they had a really good eclair that wasn't stale. It was maple flavored, and I enjoyed it. So LNL Hawaiian barbecue, you cracked the code. You have the only good windbags. Period.
I mean, eclairs are fine. I think specifically windbags that fucking...
Yeah.
So
eclairs-
windbags aren't eclairs.
They're not.
Okay, I was
They're
wrong.
tiny and round. They're like a donut hole, except it's a different pastry, and there's whipped cream. Well, not whipped cream, it's pastry cream, but there's a different cream inside.
Chicken nuggets.
I was just trying to rile up Eclair Nation to drive views.
That's smart, honestly. It worked on me. What else is going on? You know what? The biggest thing is since the last Foxxo Esoterica episode that happened is that I got married.
All right.
Dab. Puma and I, we did it.
We sure did.
We're legally married.
Yes.
We had a ceremony in Reno,
Nevada.
Nevada. The law is easy
Couldn't
there.
afford Las Vegas.
I don't think it's not that we couldn't
Tickets
afford
there
Las
actually
Vegas.
really
I think
cheap.
like we just didn't want to drive.
But
That's
staying
true,
there
yeah,
can
the drive.
cost you everything.
The drives in this.
That's true.
Not to dox my guests, but we're in the Bay Area right now. Do you feel doxed?
I think knowing that I live in a large metropolitan area wouldn't necessarily help anybody.
Okay.
Just don't get any more specific. Don't tell them Cupertino or anything.
Well,
You're
obviously,
you're down in Haywood right now.
that's pretty smart because like we're in Oakland. But it's a
No. If we keep saying different places on the map, they'll eventually be able to triangulate where we didn't say.
Well, one
Right, you
we
fools!
already mentioned the thing we are at.
So
we
we
can just list every city in the Bay Area like alphabetically, and then they'll.
I want to do it out of order as a fun challenge.
So first one, yeah.
But we ended up driving 4 to 7 hours from our location
Yeah, it was
to
fucking a
Reno.
while. It was a drive.
If we were to go to Las Vegas, it would take 5 to 11, depending on
takes
what.
9.5 hours.
But
Yeah.
now you're narrowing down where you live.
What? The Bay Area is going to have the same amount of time, I think.
And actually, depending on where you go on the Bay,
It depends on traffic
Like-
conditions too.
North
That's
Bay,
true, yeah.
you just jump right out there. But like South
Yeah.
Bay has to travel all
It's
the way
really
along
weird. Like the
fence.
further
That's true.
inside the metro you are, the longer it takes. It's not
Yeah.
necessarily that. Anyway,
Anyway, we're
It's
married
because there's
now.
nothing south of the Bay. I say, angering many people who probably don't
I know,
talk
there's
about
lots
this
of places.
podcast.
San Jose fans.
San
Get
Jose
out of
is
this
still the
podcast.
Bay.
No, San Jose is still the Bay.
I love
Bay,
poetry.
baby.
I don't know how far south it goes. Like Salinas, is that still the Bay? I think that's out of the Bay at that point.
Yeah, you're Bay adjacent at that point. I'm thinking
I don't know.
What's 2 hours south of here?
Salinas? I don't know.
Anything between Los Angeles and San Francisco is like I don't know about
I
it.
think San Diego is between.
San Diego's on the border to Mexico.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Wow, I don't know where San Diego is.
It's
Okay.
On the
it's
border to
like
Mexico.
Yeah.
Wow, that's super. That's so far south.
Yeah,
It's like isn't it like about as far away from Los Angeles as the Bay is?
I didn't know that. I
That's
thought it
kinda
was.
funny, yeah.
near
I think it's
I thought it was
slightly
near LA.
shorter of a distance.
Salinas, Monterey, Carmel by
Okay,
the
so if
sea.
you like cheese,
Caramel.
Go to
Bars.
Monterey.
Wisconsin.
oh yeah,
Actually, they have pretty good cheese selection.
Directly south, there ain't shit. A little bit south and east, there's Salinas and Monterey, and then like you just gotta go south to hit San Luis Obispo, or go far enough east that you're doing Fresno.
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 pizza.
Interesting, you bring up Fresno. Oh no, I'll get to it.
Friends, no.
So everybody's been on the podcast before. I don't have to go through the silly questions, but just to cover my bases, does anybody have any new enlightening religious beliefs that they've changed since they've last been on the podcast?
Religious beliefs? No.
Nobody's had any crazy
I put my
experiences?
personal faith in our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, at this point in time.
Oh, okay, cool. That's new.
We actually did have a prayer at our wedding, if you remember.
It's actually
was
a really
there.
beautiful one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pastor. I don't want to call him
It
a pastor.
wasn't overly Christy, and I liked that.
Yes.
He does a really good job. I enjoyed the service we used to get our really quick wedding done. It was nice. It was actually really nice. I like that.
Call
It was
out
a very
to
quality, quick wedding.
Arch
Yes.
of Reno.
Arch of Reno. You want to get a wedding in Nevada? Arch of Reno are your lads.
And
They
you want to get it done
literally
in 15 minutes?
It literally felt like we were going to McDonald's, but we got married. It was really great.
We showed up an hour earlier than they scheduled us, and they're like, "We're ready if you
Yeah,
are."
it's whatever. You just go ahead. It's great.
Arch of Reno, everyone.
I love Nevada. I think that's where I'm gonna die.
Well,
That's very specific.
now I have to be there.
you
You're
don't wanna
gonna
live
die somewhere in Nevada. Don't do it in Reno. Do it in
Yeah.
Vegas.
You know,
it's way more
in
fun
Reno,
to die in
in Reno,
Vegas.
in Reno, they will remember me, though. Like in Las Vegas, like 1 billion people die probably.
Reno is cold.
Yeah, but
everybody.
people don't
usually-
like dying in Reno versus dying in Vegas is like
I was gonna say people usually commit suicide when they
Dying-
get home and see
Yeah.
the like,
Yeah,
lost
okay,
it.
but
It's not while they're
Johnny
there.
Cash wrote a song about death in Reno. You know, I shot
Uh-huh.
a man in Reno just to watch.
yeah.
him.
That's the only reason he was in fucking Reno.
Yeah,
You shoot
and I
a
would
man
be-
and watch
I would
him
be-
die.
I would be
And
number
there's
two.
also BLFC,
Reno
I would
has
be
where I
two
shoot
shows.
on a man and watch him cry.
What? Are you coming on people and they're crying?
Yes.
Oh.
Don't worry, they're into it. It's
Okay,
part of
cool.
it's their fetish.
Aw,
I feel like everybody getting cummed on
So
at
bad.
BLFC
Should
should
be
be
happy.
crying tears of joy.
yeah.
Forsetti Fox 2022.
You don't need to remember it, honey, who I've married as well.
Oh yeah, we're all married now. We did
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
We're two old married
It's
couples.
actually a couple of.
This is the double date
Double
podcast.
date.
I think
Yeah.
I might have done one before. I don't know.
We have
Good
the
question.
hours.
No, we never did one with Shadow Wolf and that better.
We didn't yet, but we will.
Oh,
You guys weren't married then.
Eventually, I'll be in Germany once more.
Yeah, eventually.
Oh yeah, life plans. Just so everyone in the podcast knows about my personal life, because I know the ghost stories are almost as interesting as me personally. But Puma sadly will be going back to Germany next week. I will remain in America until
This week.
Puma. Shush.
Yeah.
Until shut up.
It's sad.
Shut up. And then he'll come back, and me and my family are going to Disney. Yippee! That was actually meant to be really excited. Don't read that as ironic, because I'm very looking forward to it. And then I'll be back in Germany in August.
3 more chances for me to die lonely in an air crash.
Why are you gonna?
You know, there was actually a plane crash earlier today
Where?
in China.
Well, it's...
It's apparently terrifying.
Do I
Like,
gotta
it just
edit that
went
out?
Vertically straight down.
Yeah, no, there was like an interesting one like that.
Wait,
I
why
read
did that
about.
happen?
They don't know.
It's like, I think the worst plane crash I ever read about was Air France flight from Rio de Janeiro to Paris. The plane was literally just flying, nothing was going on. Within a minute, it went like this, then flipped around, and then just crashed into the ocean.
You can't just
Huh.
use hand motions on a podcast. Nobody knows what you're talking
Well, I was
about.
talking to Pub, not to you listeners. I really don't care much about the others.
Imagine that the tail of the end of the plane dipped down, and then they did a turnaround so that where the back of the plane was, the belly is now. And then they fell in the ocean.
No,
Everybody
the
died.
face kind of went wrong, actually. Like, the issue was they were trying, like, they saw that they were losing altitude, and they tried to pull up, but they were stalling. So they were like this, and then just went down, and then the air just kind of flipped them around, and it was horrifying. And it all happened within like 2 minutes.
And then they all died.
Yeah, they all died. Like, all
This plane was going level, and then it literally dropped 90 degrees down, like straight down.
yeah, the issue was
What?
that
How
there
the
was
fuck
icing.
does that even happen?
This is
Nobody
Foxxo
knows.
Esoterica
It was
moment.
terrifying. No, this one literally, it was like the plane stopped working. Apparently it wasn't an equipment malfunction, or at least not an obvious one, because that does something different than flight trajectory. I'm not a pilot. I don't know. I'm just regurgitating what I read internet comments about
I
that.
just can't imagine, like, even if the pilot wanted to, could he make it dive at a 90-degree angle? I don't
Usually
think
the
that
autopilot would
physics are
stop
there.
you. No, it can go at a 90-degree angle, though.
This is genuinely
Like,
mysterious.
can it actually?
Yeah, you can see a video of it.
Damn, that's harsh.
Oh my god.
Oh, what?
I haven't seen the video, but that's crazy.
Oh, yeah, no, the people recorded it.
Oh my god.
What model plane was it? What were the fucking Boeing?
I'm just saying, like, not under normal circumstances.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, sure.
Even if it just died, it would still be, like,
Yeah, no,
gliding
there are
forward.
safeguards to, not...
Something
Do
genuinely
that.
mysterious happened.
So there are some malfunction somewhere. Apparently,
Oh, it's probably...
the black box might have been destroyed because, it was literally a headfirst dive into the ground.
Well, this is my I don't want to make this sound obligatory, but very sorry to everybody who had to experience that earlier today.
It was a 737,
That's
so I don't need to
horrifying.
worry because mine's a 747 this weekend. Everything's fine.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Alright, well, everyone's just Googling plane crash now. This is funny. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. It lets me segue. Anyway, we are going to be talking about the wine we will be enjoying this evening. We are in California, so we're pivoting from craft beers to wine because it's wine country. Oh, I don't think it's copyright. You can play it. I don't know what the copyright law is on that, to be real.
Oh, can you go get the wine?
The wine, okay.
In the freezer.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Because we
not what I
forgot to
thought.
chill it.
Yeah, we're not seeing necessarily all of the footage of the plane. Like, we're not seeing it going straight forward and then immediately crashing down, which is what I thought it was saying.
Uh-huh.
However, it was
Yeah.
like it did take a nosedive. Yeah, it's going straight down there. We don't see it going straight and then taking a straight 90-degree down. It's
Yeah,
just
but there's
going
no
straight
reason
down.
a plane should be doing that.
it got shot out of the sky or something. Kind of crash.
It might have also been suicide. Some of pilots do that. Happened in France.
Oh yeah, some commenters were mentioning that it was kind of like that. We need a wine opener, don't we?
Oh, somebody do this. It's not me because I'll fuck it up.
You did fuck it up last time.
I fucked it up last time.
Yeah, this is designed to be drilled into.
Yeah. It's just like me.
Rescue efforts are underway at the scene of the crash, but there were no immediate details on the possible cause or the number of casualties. So I'm gonna go out on a limb here and assume probably nobody made it out.
Yeah, usually people don't make it out of a
You
crash.
watch the video because
usually they don't, and
it
this
was
one
90
just
degrees.
dove into the fucking ground. Like,
Yeah,
it's gonna be hard.
Hey there, everybody. This is Future Forseti coming in with a sober insight onto the tragic airplane crash that occurred in China. We talk about it in detail, but it is something that, as of the time of recording, happened literally 3 days ago. So it's like a very recent tragedy wherein 132 people unfortunately lost their lives. But to, like I said, have a sober insight on it, I'm looking at a website right now, an article written by Martin Quinn Pollard. Looks like in Wuzhou, China, airplane flight MU5735 en route from Kunming to Guangzhou crashed. It was a Boeing 737-800, and nobody knows why this occurred, but it had a vertical descent out of midair, and the entire jet disintegrated on impact, with all of the lives on board tragically passing away. And the cause of the crash at the time of this recording has yet to be determined. I'm reading a lot of this verbatim just because this is a random little interjection that I didn't plan on doing, but just so everybody is caught up to speed on that situation, it is very weird and not something I would feel comfortable tackling on Foxxo Esoterica without being sober and telling you all about it. So thank you for letting me do that, everyone, and back to the show. What is the wine we're enjoying this evening?
It is a Farniente wine, which is a random winery we found in Napa Valley. I haven't even Googled it.
So
but
it
the
was
wine is
actually
really good.
no. I can tell the story a little better. So Farniente is the only winery in the Napa Valley that does dessert wines, apparently. We went to a completely random place that I don't remember, but they recommended Farniente to me. Farniente is a beautiful, beautiful winery, complete with, it has its own little lake. There's all these wonderful shaded areas of trees. I would actually kind of like to get married there someday.
You mean have a ceremony?
Yeah, the ceremony.
Okay.
All of
We've
us
already
did
been
that.
I'm not, what was it? Divorcing you for your evil twin?
No,
I don't know what the trope is.
We can divorce and then immediately get remarried just so it's fully legal.
I think you can renew vows. That's a normal thing people do.
That's what we'd actually do, but, we're trying to make comedy here.
That's true. Everybody,
How deep is this cork?
you hate
Don't
your
go any
wedding,
deeper, otherwise
get
you'll push it in, I
it,
think.
divorce, and then marry
Just gotta
again.
pull.
Got it.
Actually, I'm not so certain that the law would let that happen, because I feel like
All right.
marriage law is
horrifyingly complicated, and I hate it. And if I got divorced, I would be afraid that I would.
There's not much wine, so we're gonna.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah,
I appreciate this charity.
Huh?
Wait, do the cool beer stein. I have a beer stein because I'm drinking wine out of a beer stein.
Okay.
Barry, you having any?
No.
You should have a sip for the podcast.
I'm not gonna.
You
Just
slut.
have a sip for the podcast.
Have a
I don't
sip
like
for the
wine.
podcast, or I'm.
It's dessert wine. It's
Divorcing
grape
you.
juice. Have some grape juice.
You just drink from. Give it to
Here,
him.
yeah, have some grape juice.
Okay, but
Okay,
then
let's go.
tell us
Right.
about your experience because that's what the podcast
Oh
is
yeah,
about.
keep going.
1, 2, 3. Cheers.
Cheers.
Clank.
Oh, I'm getting notes of honey up the wazoo.
I'm getting notes of it's grape juice.
This is completely this is the honeyest wine I've ever tasted, and
It's
I
really
like that.
sweet. It's like if Riesling had a baby with mead.
This is very
Oh,
mead.
yeah.
I'm getting a mead sense
Yeah.
from this. I'm letting myself be a little bit of a wine snob for the podcast, but genuinely, if I taste a sweet wine, normally, I'm like, I don't enjoy this. This is way too sweet for me. But this wine is sweet in a honeyed mead sense, and that works for me very nicely. I think this is an enchanting beverage.
This is quite nice. I will say it tastes different than the first time I tried it, where it was freshly chilled, and also intimidated by the price.
Do I want to know?
We
Because
probably did something like
This
I being
is
bequeathed the
a
gift, and I'm nervous.
this is a how many 375 milliliter bottle,
Mm-hmm.
and it cost $80.
Yeah, that's a significant price tag.
It is the most I've ever spent on a wine, and it was only because I received a sample that was so magical that I went, I want to try this sometime.
Yeah,
I want to have this in my life.
honestly,
It was so good and so expensive that my father-in-law. Oh God.
yeah, that's
Right.
right. They're your in-laws now.
Your dad, literally, I think, was judging me for spending as much on it.
It's because they're Asian.
he can
I don't
say
want
it.
to cancel.
I like how you're like, oh, his parents are. He's talking about his parents, and
His parents
he is
are,
saying
in fact,
they're Asian.
Asian. Great.
I was reading up on this air crash, and I thought I'm on our news. I'm actually on our Wall Street bets, and now I get why the fucking comments are so weird.
What the fuck?
Wall Street
Like-
Bets is more popular than news.
What the fuck?
That's funny.
What kind of comments are there?
Just like somewhat weird ones, but also people being like, "Oh man, my fucking Boeing stars are gonna dive again now."
Oh my god, that's horrific.
Yeah, fucking Wall Street bets is insane.
No,
it's
no.
like the new space stakes.
Yo, I want to talk about a ghost story.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna have a smoother segue.
Nope. Have you listened to the podcast yet? I'm not good at those.
I told you, I'm not listening.
That's fair. Honestly, these are. You know what?
I'm teasing you.
I know.
I'm teasing.
I know. Here's the thing. When your friend says, "Do you want to listen to my podcast?" It's usually like a 2-hour commitment. And so when people are like, "I don't listen to your podcast," I'm like, "Oh, I understand. This significant time sink." I don't need any. Like that's a lot of times lost listening to my drunken ramblings.
I don't even believe in
Are you already drunk?
What?
Are you already drunk?
Oh, I've had like
Drank,
2
like,
glasses
before
of wine.
this, yeah.
Oh, that's fair.
Pre-game,
Yeah, it's Foxxo Esoterica, baby. I got a pregame.
my darling.
Are you stealing my
Okay, so
wine?
sad.
Are you stealing my wine?
You have some still. There is wine in your glass. What are you doing? So
It does taste better stolen.
I did pour myself a lot of wine actually, so you could have some
You
more,
did.
but
I love thievery, larceny, love it.
then you're in the right city.
What?
I'm gonna start stealing shit from people's cars.
San Francisco's. I was talking about San Francisco's.
Oh, yeah,
the
there's
Bay
a lot of-
Area's hilariously high property crime rate
I think it's more concentrated in San Francisco
Yes.
than the rest of the Bay Area.
by far.
Like, do you not that like I'm gonna do anything? How off the top of your head, do you know how easy it is to get away with it? Like, what's the success rate?
Really high. Like
Okay.
seriously, if you steal from a Walgreens, you're not gonna get caught.
We can change the subject now because I have all the information I need. Tonight's encyclopedic collection is a new one because this story does not fit in any encyclopedic collection so far that I have.
I'm calling it Mysteries of the Millennia, a category dealing with things outside of normal explanation but have taken place post-2000. We're dealing with a newer story this evening, gentlemen. Now, if I may begin. The story this evening will be one of the most modern stories I've covered on this show so far, with the first report of our lovely creature of interest this evening only showing up in 2007. If you would allow, please let me show you alleged footage capturing this cryptid before I tell you all about him. For those listening at home, I'll post the video in the description. Pull over, obviously, because there are things about this creature that I would be bad at describing. I'm going to flip my computer around.
It's actually compared to that one. The one
This, my fair friends, will be the person we will be discussing this evening.
It's an X-Man.
Here he is. Everybody at home, you can probably skip ahead 30 seconds because we're going to be talking about something we're looking at that you can't see.
So the guy just looks like a guy that's like dressed up as a ghost for Halloween.
Looks like a walking wishbone.
Its legs.
It looks like one guy with a really large and long dachshund, and the dachshund is doing the cart, like the wheelbarrow thing, and it's like walking on its two legs.
I have another
while
one.
the human holds up the back half, and I can't see because of that glare.
Oh, sorry.
Ooh.
Oh, it's much.
Oh, it's got a baby.
Okay, that's cool.
This one's more fake than the first one.
Okay.
You can say that.
I was gonna say that is some dude in like really tall, stretchy pants
With his son.
with his son.
Allow
You
me
know
to
what? They're adorable.
introduce you to the Fresno Nightcrawlers, everybody. What you just witnessed is a cryptid that enthusiasts affectionately call the Fresno Nightwalkers. Actually, I think it's Nightcrawlers. I did a typo and I'm stupid.
I was gonna say they are white, so I understand where you were starting with there.
White curse.
White crawlers.
White crawlers.
Zack Snyder's.
The Zack Snyder's.
No, that's a director, not a famous pretzel company. I'm thinking of
It's
this.
Hanover of Snyder's.
Snyder's of Hanover.
Hanover of Snyder's.
Anyway.
Oh no, the weed's kicking in. Alright, finish this.
Oh, yeah, you're high. Should I take something?
Nah.
That's fair. Sometimes, weed is legal in California for any cops listening. So the footage you just...
we might just be high on life.
But it's also weed, because it's legal where we're watching cops.
Do you even know what fucking plausible deniability is, you son of a bitch?
I do.
A high German Air Force. I'm not high right now, actually. Like I'm literally.
He's actually not.
Anything. Yeah.
Moving on to the story. What you just witnessed is footage of a cryptid called the Fresno Nightcrawler. Now, this footage captured a pair of strange creatures recorded in 2007. Though since then, there have been a handful of other reports and sightings that have popped up here and there, though most of them take place in the middle of California. Because, I gotta do a local legend when I'm visiting people. For those at home who haven't yet looked up this creature, I'll do my best to describe them. They're white legs with a tiny head on them. No arms, not even a torso, it's just some legs, and they're white legs, and they have a tiny head on them. And that's it.
They're actually super cute.
They're very cute. I think it's a very enchanting cryptid. Considering this is more of a modern legend than most I've covered, it's easy to chalk up this to video trickery or eccentric costuming. Which I doubt, because it's just legs, no torso or anything. I don't like the one video with the like big dude. That makes sense. You could have a really big sweatpants. You could do the Vine where it's like that one person doing the Vine with the sweatpants legs. But the other footage is just some legs, and I don't know how a human body could do that costuming.
It's a robot.
Wasn't that footage real blurry?
Yes, it was. Good point. Just to be perfectly clear, skepticism is appreciated on the podcast. I am the believer. Everybody else doesn't have to be. But this legend does go a little bit deeper than the mere CCTV footage that I showed. And tonight, I'd like to hand off a couple of shovels so that my guests and I can dig just to that depth. We don't have to dig that deep, though. This isn't the deepest we've ever had to dig.
Oh, did the Shovel Knight sponsor come through?
Yes.
Okay.
Everybody buys Shovel Knight, a game I haven't played but love immensely.
You paused so many times with like, is that like, was that a pun? I can't tell anymore.
I wrote this like a month ago. I don't know. Here's some sources. And everybody, I did this without Wikipedia because the Fresno Nightcrawlers do not have a Wikipedia page. Wikipedia, you fucking give them a page or I will come. Anyway, the article, The Fresno Nightcrawlers, written by Susanna Wagner, or even Wagner, goddammit, I'm speaking German, on the website Odyssey is one of the sources I used. In addition to the article, The Fresno... I'm just doing sources.
Is Odyssey spelled A-U-D or O-D-Y?
O-D-Y. Like
I'm
Homer.
no longer interested.
That's fair. This is the boring section. You can skip this, everybody. Just kidding, everybody. Sources are important. MLA format. The article of Fresno Nightcrawler...
Not APA.
Yeah, I'm a coward and dumb. The article, Fresno Nightcrawler, Real Life Alien or Hoax, written by Adrian Gonzalez on the website Paranorms. The article, Strange Creature Reported in Carmel Area, written by McGlone on the Highland County Press. Longtime fans will know what I'll be talking about later. And lastly, the page on the Fresno Nightcrawlers on the website Hex, The Human Experience, written by Kayla, no last name.
Nothing lends an article more credence than written by X, no last name.
Sometimes I don't get any name, and sometimes the name is, this spell was written in blood, no spaces or capitals.
So maybe it was like written by Prince. I'm like, oh, alright.
This is a share podcast. I only take articles written by people audacious enough to forego their last name. Before I begin, though, I want to talk about one thing. And the thing that grips me about this story is how simple and how earnest it is. Before we get into video trickery, before we get into CGI or anything staged, at face value, this is a story involving a silly pair of legs, just walking around and doing nothing. But A, everyone involved in reporting any footage becomes really perturbed by it. They do not like looking at the legs. I'll get to that. And they don't want to be associated with the disclosing of the footage at all. Like, a couple of the people are like, don't have my name attached to this. I just have this footage. Please leave me alone. I just got some legs on my camera. So it's hard to say that anyone's really doing this for attention or profit because of that. And I think that's important in stories like this where it's silly, but people want to be unattached from it. Because it's like, well, then what do they gain from faking it? And B, who would fucking come up with this silly little idea? It's so unlike any other cryptid, and it's not the sort of idea you'd come up with if you want to make an impactful cryptid story. It's just legs.
It actually makes me think of, like, the Japanese kami things, because I feel like there's some design similarity in that, but I don't know what this would be the spirit of, like, a pair of pants.
It literally is sweatpants. But yeah, I wish I got into that more, because that would be a good angle for that. There's, like, a lot of... Is it kami or yokai?
Kami is the benign spirit. Yeah.
Okay.
Or like the little mini gods associated with objects. And I think yokai are specifically a name given to evil demons.
Do any of you know of The Journey to Jorts?
Oh god.
Brian David Gilbert, this isn't even a sponsor. Like, if you need somebody to suck your dick, I find you attractive.
Wow.
What were you talking about?
You've heard The Journey to Jorts.
By Brian David Gilbert, a prolific
the
YouTuber.
The saga of the sweatpants?
I have not.
Of the sweatshorts? Do you have to cut them too in some sort of eldritch ritual?
Probably.
To get them to... Well, you couldn't cut them because they grow longer.
If you don't
Maybe
cut
that's
them...
the eldritch part. The saga is that it just grows longer and longer, and you have to do really epic things while wearing the sweatpants until they reach above your head.
If you forget to cut your jorts, they will become the Fresno Nightcrawlers. That's like you will manifest a demon through your own
Those
sheer
were clearly white
botchery
and not
of the ritual.
Denim.
They're
CCTV
so old.
footage.
They're bleached.
They've been in the sun too long. I'd be remiss if I didn't point out that the 2007 footage wasn't the first chronological piece of evidence supporting the Fresno Nightcrawlers. This note is wrong. I lied.
This note is wrong. I lied. Okay.
Okay. Because somebody said that in an article, and I tried to follow up on it, and I couldn't. So The 2007 footage is the first one. It was, however, the first bit of footage that found its way online, and more importantly, into the hands of paranormal investigators. Okay, yeah. So this note, I think a couple articles were like, somebody talking about finding the Fresno Nightcrawlers in the 90s, and I couldn't find any information about that, so I think that people are lying. The 2007 footage is real, though. We start with a man by the name of Jose, who installed 2 CCTV security cameras after he experienced a bicycle theft. One of the cameras was aimed at...
Pants stole bicycles!
Somebody stole Jose's bicycle.
The pants didn't steal.
I know,
Jose's bicycle.
I understand. It's just, this is the first I thought of. This is like a pair of pants. Just like, pedaling the bicycle down the
You
street.
need to find a giant bicycle for how big those pants are.
They're standing. They can do it.
If you want to...
I'm just still hung up on the fact that this video looked like a shitpost, and now I imagine them riding a bicycle without arms.
Okay, I just figured out a very important question.
Ride my bike
Is
with no hands.
I knew that Flowbot reference was coming.
Okay.
We name dropped somebody, and this is Future Forsetti keeping it anonymous.
Aware of the Fresno Nightcrawler.
I did it again.
They're pants, not shoes. He wouldn't be interested. Also, this is...
Oh, there's at least one person who has an
We're
interesting and perfectly valid fetish for sweatpants. It's out there somewhere.
I'm sure someone has a fetish for sweatpants, and I don't know. They may really be into these things.
No,
What about the person who we
I've seen
specifically mentioned?
multiple comics of this person involving sweatpants. It's weird. I didn't particularly enjoy it, but
Why did you view multiple comics?
sometimes you go down the rabbit hole, and there's a rabbit hole part 2, and you've already, you're invested.
Curiosity
And you're just
is a potent drug.
I think there's a 3rd and 4th, but I didn't really verify that.
Okay, well...
Sweatpants kinks are valid, but I wouldn't recommend being attracted to the Fresno Nightcrawlers.
Oh, people
Are they dangerous?
No. They're not.
I was like, there are a lot of monster fuckers
then
now.
why not?
I don't see a
You'd
point
fuck
why
half
not.
the cryptid.
Because that
Why
is
not the
a
sweatpants?
married man, and
Half
you
is such
can't
a
have
low
him.
number.
He had a son.
What's your problem with
Homewreckers.
sweatpants?
No, I'm just saying, you said you'd fuck half the cryptids out there. That's low balling it. I feel like I am attracted to 90%
So what's wrong
of them.
with fucking this cryptid?
Because it's just pants.
What? You can fit in them, but they can't fit in you? You permabottom?
I need to practice stretching more. Anyway,
Don't
Jose...
worry, they'll stretch for you.
Jose.
God damn it. They're stretchy sweatpants. That's the pun, everybody. It's the pun.
Alright, what about Jose?
Jose's like bitches stealing my bike, so I have
Say
to...
it again. Maybe that time it'll elastic to the audience.
Alright, moving on.
The puns are appreciated, everybody. I'm just drunk and yelling because I feel like... Usually I make puns. I'm moving on. Jose's bikes are getting stolen. I need a camera. Here we go. He has one set up in the driveway and the other one set up in the front door in 2007, which is kind of innovative considering Ring hadn't come out yet. The monitor is viewing both cameras, and it is set up conveniently in his bedroom. Now, full disclosure, Jose would later report his story to various sources, but he would never disclose his last name, and in fact, would pass away in between 2011 and now. Rest in peace. But considering people would have conversations and such with him in person throughout the course of the story, I believe its desire for anonymity, as opposed to the desire to pull a hoax off, makes the story a little bit more valid because Jose is like, guys, in the paranormal community, I found this, please take the footage, please leave me alone, never talk to me. And I think he would die in a motorcycle accident, actually.
You can't make it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Shove it down my throat.
That's a sad part of the story. And
Pour one out. Audience, pour one out for Jose.
Pour one out for Jose. He didn't deserve to die in a motorcycle accident. I think he's cool.
To a side.
No, I would
Loving it.
no.
Anyway, though, he did manage to get the first recording of these beings. The time, 2:15 a.m. on November 5th, 2007. The location, Fresno, California. For those not in the area, halfway in between San Francisco and Los Angeles, but if you went inland first, eastward, you make a triangle. Jose woke up in
Oh my gosh, the Fresno Triangle. I had no idea. Okay, this story
now
might
you
be real,
do.
actually.
Yeah, this story's kind of real.
California Illuminati confirmed.
The Silicon Valley elite are putting pants in your neighborhood.
And Hollywood is selling it to you with sex.
Oh my god, what was that one anime about the living clothes
Are you
and the
eating
superpowers?
Pocky?
Yes, I am.
Can I have one?
Only if you can name that anime.
With the living clothes?
Yeah.
Probably JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
No.
But have you seen enough?
Yes.
Damn it. Have you read part 8? They got fucking bees and shit.
Yep. I haven't finished part 8, but...
Not that what I'm gonna say makes any sense whatsoever, but just so everyone knows, JoJo Part 8 spoilers for the next 15 seconds. You can skip ahead. It will be a spoiler, it just won't sound like it.
I'm so close to finishing. I keep putting it off because they brought out the bees and the stone people getting raised by bees. And I was like, I need a second to fucking
Kill the kill.
process
That's
this.
it.
Anyway, Jose.
That ended with... No, that's a Kamega kill.
No, I'm thinking of Kill la Kill. I like the Kamega Kill. I didn't enjoy Kill la Kill nearly as much.
I think you have to really enjoy the sense of humor they present because it's not supposed to be taken seriously even slightly.
JoJo is.
I think it was the art style just didn't jive with me. Maybe I should give it another try sometime. But
I had fun with it.
Then I have to have time to do that shit.
It's the only TV show with an organization dedicated to justice called Nudist Beach or something like that.
Is that like verbatim? Nudist Beach or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah, sure. No, no, this isn't Gintama. Nudist Beach.
Good. I'm really good at segues. The time is 2:15 a.m. on November 5th, 2007. Fresno, California. Jose woke up in the middle of the night to the sound of his dog barking. And, saving the trip downstairs, he simply turned on his monitor to see what could possibly aggravate his dog in the middle of the night. What he found was the footage I just showed you. White legs, almost 3 feet tall, just sort of walking. Jose woke up his brother, who was living with him, and then peered through the front window to see if the two of them could catch a glimpse of what he saw through the monitor. But alas, he was unsuccessful, not finding them with his real eyes. Then, a realization hit Jose. The security camera footage would record over itself if he kept it running. So as soon as he thought about that, he rushed upstairs and took a camcorder recording of the monitor while he could still access it, saving the footage in the process, which is why the footage fucking sucks.
Why didn't he just... well.
2007, they don't have the technology. Probably.
They had the technology in 2007.
Jose didn't want to think about it that hard.
Okay.
Valid. He couldn't rewind the tape once it had started writing over itself, an automatic process. That was in parentheses, I don't know why. But when he and his family went outside again to see if they could find the mysterious beings, they found nothing but the still, silent night. Except for one thing. Tiny footprints in the dirt in Jose's front yard. Without the feet. Just little peg footprints.
Aww.
Very cute. Horrified, Jose would stay housebound for about 2 weeks, being very afraid of these legs. But finally, in December, he'd muster up a bit of courage and contact the TV station Univision.
Afraid of these legs.
He saw that and he's like, I don't want to see those even a little bit.
All legs, no dairy.
Wait, what is this?
I'm legendary.
RuPaul's Drag Race.
All legs, no dairy.
Also,
legs.
a meme about that. What's the menu?
Legs.
What's on a menu?
Legs.
What's on a menu?
Ah.
Okay, now he's got that out of the system.
Thank you, RuPaul. Horrified, Jose would stay housebound for about 2 weeks, but finally, in December, he'd muster up a bit of courage and contact the TV station Univision, the largest Spanish-speaking American TV network. Though, he was only able to show them the camcorder footage that he took on the monitor. Univision then got in contact with someone who would know slightly more about paranormal stuff than they would, being a non-paranormal TV network that just shows normal shows. So they got in touch with a Victor Camacho, the host of a paranormal radio show known as Los Desvelados, or, in English, The Sleepless Ones. Camacho then took it upon himself.
Am I racist if that sounds like a telenovela to me? The Sleepless Ones.
To be fair, The Sleepless Ones is basically just The Young and the Restless.
I think that fucking Victor Camacho knows how to name a TV show, and I understand that The Sleepless Ones is a good name for a paranormal TV show. Victor Camacho.
Or a telenovela.
You're cool. And I think you should name TV shows, because you have a
Or
good knack for it.
telenovelas.
You can do both. Jose got in contact with him. I'm out of order. So Camacho took it upon himself to get all the information that he could and asked Univision XX if he could get into contact with Jose, which they were able to do. However, Jose, who was very startled and not in the mood to be criticized for believing in aliens/walking pants, asked that his last name be kept anonymous and that his face wouldn't be filmed for the entire process, which Camacho was totally cool with. Though, he didn't agree until the February of 2008 to let Camacho visit him for the interview, which was like 3 months later. So, Jose and his family talked about receiving a handful of visits from the strange legs, more than just the footage showed, although he was only able to get that one video of the footage. They showed up multiple times.
Being afraid of a nice pair of legs. Like, a pair of legs so good. He just couldn't get it out of his head. It was like, it just stays at home.
He's just thinking about the legs and staying inside. He lamented about the fact that the camcorder footage was the only footage they were able to save. But, besides Camacho getting the vibe that Jose was very startled from the encounter, he couldn't get that much more information via interview in order to parse a definite story together. Regardless, Victor Camacho would later get in touch with the Mutual UFO Network, aka MUFON for people who follow the paranormal community, a still-running UFO, or I guess they're calling them unidentified aerial phenomenon these days, am I right? They're changing UFOs, the times they are changing. Now it's UAPs.
That's worse?
Maybe it is. Bring it up with MUFON. It's a research group that was founded in 1969.
Nice.
Thank you.
Sorry, I wasn't going to do it, but you seemed like you really wanted me to.
I wrote that note in, and I knew somebody would do it, so I didn't have to. And then they spoke about the footage and his experience a little bit. The TV show, Fact or Faked, Paranormal Files, would later get in touch with Camacho, as he'd worked with them before, and then they would proceed to produce an episode on the Nightcrawlers in 2010. But that show, too, would find itself unable to come to any conclusion as to what the legs are. Now, the last note in this arc of the story is that, sadly, Camachos would lose touch with Jose and his family after Jose would, sadly, lose his life in a tragic car accident, not motorcycle accident. Very apologetic for missing that detail. Prompting the family to move from the Fresno area without leaving a forwarding address for the paranormal investigators.
I thought you were going to say, like, not motorcycle accident, as if, like, the fact that it'd been a motorcycle accident would have been so much worse.
No, I just want to be continuous.
I was like, I mean, I guess.
If you're gonna hit
Probably more bloody.
Would you rather hit another car in a car or in a motorcycle?
I would 100% rather hit another car because I don't want to kill someone.
Yeah. I only bring it up in that vein because I want continuity to be a main feature of Foxxo Esoterica. I want everyone to know that my notes are good.
Alright.
We've come at a natural pause in the story. Is that another bottle of wine I see?
Oh, yeah.
I finished mine.
This is called a Fifth Moon Chenin Blanc. We picked it up at another random winery whose name I don't remember.
That was the one that recommended the good winery to me.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, okay, I don't want to break open 2 bottles of good wine for Foxxo
It's not that
Esoterica. Okay, cool.
I mean, it was $120, but like it's...
What?
It's
You don't have to
really
open up
not that
$100. You don't have to open up $120.
Sorry, it was $60.
That's-
It was 2 bottles for $120.
Still a lot of money. You don't have to do it for Foxxo Esoterica.
Yeah, it was.
There's other alcohol. We don't have to do it for Foxxo Esoterica. We already opened up the cool one.
Oh, what? This is fine. It's just
This is also giving me honey notes.
Yeah.
I've smelled it. I haven't tasted it so far.
I'm assuming they put honey in it. Oh, and you should.
Oh, you know, the scent is throwing me off because this is
It's actually much drier.
much drier and very citric, which is a very good combination.
I'm gonna need to cleanse my palate of the Pocky first.
See, I just kind of let it combine. You know, a dry white. I really like a dry white. Those are
Ooh,
good.
okay.
People usually don't. If people are like, I'm a dry wine fan, I've found in my experience that they'll go for a dry red before they go for a dry white. But like, boy howdy, is a dry white a very enjoyable experience for me. So without any leads or any explanation, the story laid stagnant for about 3 years because I'm good at segues. That is until March 28th, 2011. Yosemite National Park rangers decided to analyze security footage in response to a small bit of vandalism in the park. assuming it would be a couple of young vandals doing the vandalizing. When reviewing the footage, however, they discover legs. 2 of them, of different size, around 1 foot tall and 2.2 to 3 feet tall. This is the second video you saw. Baby legs, do.
This is the most shitposed cryptid you have ever done on this podcast.
Yes.
Like seriously, every time I like try to get back into it, I'm like imagining that footage, and I'm like just seeing like the
It's
like
so
the
cute. I love it.
meme stuff superimposed on it. Like they just watch like me at 3 a.m. going to
Me on the way to Denny's, fucking.
It's definitely
me on the way to Denny's.
That's why I love the Fresno Nightcrawlers, because they're unashamed of their shitpost energy. They exist regardless of whether or not people care about them. With little heads. Though, in the footage, the legs almost look like they're a tad bit bigger than... I just said booger on air. Longtime Foxxo Esoterica fans know that's a big taboo. I'm so sorry, it's an inside joke, Pop. It's an inside joke. Sweatpants. While this footage was far clearer than the Fresno footage, it showed remarkably similar beings, and bear in mind, Yosemite National Park is only about 30 miles north-northeast of Fresno. Dying. The park rangers who got the footage also wished to remain anonymous. I don't think I was able to follow the paper trail as to how this footage got into contact with MUFON, but I'm assuming that the rangers reported to someone, and that group got a hold of the footage somehow via a third party, though it is entirely possible that the rangers sent the footage to MUFON itself. Nonetheless, it's hard to say, but MUFON got a hold of this footage, and they are using it for their little Fresno Nightcrawlers, what are they, who are they, argument. But, before I move on, it's devil's advocate moment time. Several YouTubers, notably Para Breakdown, and I know I got some Captain Disillusionment fans in the audience, so you know I gotta shout out Zippo, previous guest, introduced me to that YouTuber, who I found did a thing about this. They have found that they've done a very thorough job in trying to see how something like this would be filmed. Quite literally, one could use a pair of pants, attach weights to the bottom of each leg, and use a wooden dowel to puppeteer the legs, especially considering that the camera angles on both videos aiming downwards make things above the frame easy to hide. Also, you can use CGI. That possibility will forever exist with any digital medium, and so any, like, cryptid story that takes place after the invention of CGI will always, eternally have that element as a part of the story. And I will be the first to admit that. However, let's snag a Para Breakdown quote that was thankfully written out in full by the Hex: the Human Experience website, because I don't think I can word it any better. So here's my Para Breakdown impression. Never have I ever attempted this. So here's the deal. To create the puppet, you need to do something like this. Feet, again, are weighted. The dotted line represents fabric swathing. The longer the pole, Forcey's note, there's a pole attached to the pants in this example, Forcey's note's over, the harder the trick is. But what you do to set up the alien up so that the loose string is not supporting the feet. Now, by swinging the pole back and forth and rotating it between your hands, you can make the puppet walk in a sort of shambling and even gait. But even gait. It's even better to give each foot a control stick to get a perfect look to this creature. But one puppeteer that had practiced could make this simple version work. Captain Disillusionment's video, whereas on the other hand, I wrote that as one word, why did I do that? Deals with digitally removing the top half of one's torso while also holding a watermelon to look like a head, which is not the trickiest thing to pull off. But he also admits that it's trickier to pull off the footage with the recording of the footage with another recording. What? But he also admits that it's trickier to pull off that with footage that is recording of the footage of another recording, the camcorder with the monitor. Yep. There we go, I'm stupid. Although he does mention at the very least that a couple of frames in Jose's video showed the Nightcrawler hopping a bit faster, which looks a bit more animated. But yeah, the devil's advocate moment is over now. Now we can get back into real stuff, i.e. discussing the fact that these legs are real.
They're very cute. But
they're
like,
very real.
If I had to put this on a scale of 0 to 100%, I'm going to put this at like a 0. I'm like, there's no way these are real.
I can't believe I added a devil's advocate moment and everybody in the podcast was like, yeah, that's the thing for Seti.
Like,
It's not
Bigfoot,
real.
I don't think Bigfoot exists, but it's technically possible. They're like a
The
giant
Patterson
upright
Gimlin
ape
film was
would
filmed
look like
before
that.
CGI got invented.
An alternate explanation as well. You could use stilts and attach the sides of very large cloth-like sweatpants to the sides of the stilts, which also explains the peg-like footprints found outside Jose's property.
Yeah, but then how are you going to use stilts with your torso?
Did you leave during the whole explanation of? Oh, you weren't here for the part where they explained
No, that they made like
the wooden dowels. Yeah.
Yeah, they could do a puppet, but as I said, an alternative and additional explanation that would also explain.
Stilts.
Yeah, seriously, like a stilt. You know, like
a stilt puppet. Sorry, I confused you. Because I'm stupid.
a guy on stilts in very large sweatpants.
Honestly,
You
though,
can crest the sweatpants around it. It's a thought. It's more original than you fucks.
I can show the video again, but the thing about these pants is that both videos show a distinct lack of torso or, like, head or something. Like
Exactly. No, I agree. That's why you have the stilts to give longer leg-like appearances, and then the crotch is where you hide all the good stuff.
That's true. And there's, like, a sense of scale that can be manipulated.
Bingo. You have the stilts, which make you taller and your legs longer, and because you're in the stilts, it makes it look more like you're walking, which could also account for the gait.
That makes sense.
In the second video, it looked like someone did a light Gaussian blur along like the entire. It doesn't matter.
It does matter. Say it.
A Gaussian blur. It just looks. There's something really. In the second video, it looked a lot more fake because it looked a little too smooth on the
rewatch
people.
those two videos?
Yeah, for sure. Let me get the link up. Pup, you're onto something because I think the community has agreed that the Yosemite footage is definitely bunk, but the Fresno footage is a little bit harder to parse. It's a little bit of a
video
spoiler.
is clearly just
There's a lot of artifacts. It looks like there's a lot of image processing artifacts.
Here's the first one again. I'm gonna save the audio because I'm moving the camera and I don't want the mic to get bumped. Okay, we're good. And we're recording once more, and if something goes wrong, it's fine. So here's the footage once more. Here's the OG. This is a YouTube video that has silly audio. Here's a DistroKid link because I suck. Oh my fucking lord! Look at this man's YouTube channel. Okay, shout out to Cryptid Countdown. That's where I'm getting the footage from. I just googled Fresno Nightcrawler.
And shout out, might finally get him to 4K subscribe.
If you subscribe to him and not me, I will hunt you down. Here's the Yosemite footage.
Oh, honey.
This is the fake one. Spoilers.
Yeah.
It hasn't been proven that it's fake, but me as a person actively critiquing this case will admit that the Yosemite footage
looks
is
pretty fake.
faker than the Fresno one. Look at the doll movements. Look at the baby.
The baby is really cute though.
The baby is quite cute. No, that one looks fake, and that one I can believe is a puppet. Or even possibly someone on stilts, but the way that he's picking up his foot looks like the rough jerk of a puppeteer.
Just keep going forward. Here's the Fresno footage, which is the camcorder recording of a monitor.
I could see a dude hustling on stilts.
It looks cute.
Honestly, the stilts angle works for the Yosemite one in my mind, but that's got a tree. Let me actually go back for a sec. I think this one has like perspective. Like there's a tree in perspective, and this dude is like smaller than the tree, which by like a large degree.
Well, yeah.
Uh,
It's not even about the footage for
actually,
me. It's
no,
just like
he's up there along its trunk.
That's fair. To learn about the Fresno Nightcrawler, watch the Cryptid Files episode about it on my channel, or tune into Foxxo Esoterica. The Fresno footage, I think like every skeptic has been like, I don't understand the Fresno footage in its entirety, and that's... What point was I trying to make?
I don't know. I don't think you started with a point. You just started talking about the Fresno footage.
Oh yeah. Anyway, that's a good enough reason to move on. In August 5th, 2017, a video came out from Poland, fucking wild card, that posted alleged footage capturing the legs doing the alleged legged thing, doing the alleged leggy thing. I suck at wording things in a way that drunk Forseti can read. In Poland. However, this video has universally been accepted by the cryptid community as a hoax because the aforementioned pants puppeteering trick seems to be put to use.
Also, the person who posted this video is a person whose username is 3_punctuation marks, and they have 10 other videos on their YouTube channel claiming to be footage of paranormal stuff, and I personally am not sold on any of them. We have a Bigfoot sighting with a gorilla suit. We have an alien, I don't know what that was. We have a poltergeist, they moved something on a string. Weird YouTube channel, but I love them. And I love you so much, 3_marks YouTube channel. I think your channel is great and you're very fun to talk about. But, and this is also a lie, but the story is very much so a one-off. While the original Fresno footage is baffling and hard to parse exactly, that and Yosemite footage, which has far less background information on it than Jose's story, are pretty much the only sightings regarding the Nightcrawlers that get talked about. And the Yosemite footage may be like a little copycat hoax of the Jose's footage. And I want to talk about that, because in theory, it's only 2 different sightings, 3 years apart, in a relatively close area, but not the closest of all time. If we take it at face value and assume that both videos are real, what even are the Nightcrawlers doing? They're just legs walking around, and they're doing it in kind of like 30-mile different distances, 3 years apart. What do they want? Like, what's going on here? As a face value critique.
Oh yeah, for me it's not even so much about the footage. It's just like biologically, walking pants just doesn't seem that plausible to me.
It doesn't.
Like Bigfoot is a hairy ape, man. That works. Like a Bigfoot could possibly exist. I don't like.
To be fair, there are parts of the Seattle rainforest that are the Washington forest that are very, very thick. And so it is quite difficult to get like accurate readings or, you know, tests or.
Yeah. No. Bigfoot is.
There's a plausibility, but I kind of doubt it.
I
But
don't
it's
think
plausible.
Bigfoot exists, but Bigfoot is on the list of things where like it's actually possible. I just don't think it's true. And this is more like there's no fucking way.
But the absurdity of the story is what grabs me, because there's no fucking way, but how do you explain it besides...
I don't know, but I have the... I just, I don't know. I would say that, wow, I'm stumbling a lot because I'm high and drunk now.
That's
Welcome
how I
back
get
to
you.
same
That's how I
time.
turn you into
Go
a
on.
true believer.
Hang on.
I forgot what I was saying. Something about, why there's no way I believe that? Yes, that's just biologically implausible. And then you said, how do you explain the footage? Oh, right, okay.
Oh yeah, very trickery. Probably.
Just because I don't know exactly how it's done doesn't mean I can't be pretty sure it's not a trick somehow.
That's true.
Just from like, if I see, there are probably more creative ways to fake things. And I am not an expert on how to fake videos. So the fact that I don't know how it could be done doesn't say anything about whether or not it could be done. But there's no way a puffy balloon animal exists. It's just...
That's true.
No way.
I think the point that I wanted to make with this point is that even, like, if we were all sitting down and we're like, okay, the footage is real, this is a real creature. The thing that grabs me about this story is that, okay, we're going to accept that it's real. What is it? What is it doing and what does it want? Like, it
Bicycles.
steals a bicycle, it vandalizes Yosemite National Park, it walks across the camera, and then it boops, disappears. No
Oh
one
my
ever
god.
sees it. What is
They
going
just
on?
hate the environment.
I feel like you can hate the environment in more malicious ways. Like, that's a very passable thing to do. Like,
They're just,
vandalize
that's
that.
funny, they're just doing like the pettiest things. Like, no, you can't take your bike to work. You gotta drive. Pollute Mother Earth, this national park. Yeah, fuck nature.
If you were to believe the story, if you were to be like, here I am, I'm Kay the Pop, and I believe in this
And
story.
I literally see a puffy balloon ghost in front of me.
Do you think it's a cryptid or do you think it's an alien?
Alien, probably.
Do you think it's a biological being incapable of reason or do you think it's an alien?
Honestly, I think I'd go with alien because I just don't see how puffy balloon animal could biologically exist. So if something like this did exist, it's probably from another planet where the biology is different and they're wearing a suit.
That's true. Got a Kelly Hopkinsville thing going on with that. Goblins. I'll do that story later.
Okay.
I've already argued about why I think that it's not true.
No.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
but
Well, what was
if like it showed up in front of you, you couldn't deny it. Alien
You
or
could be
monster.
alien.
I have questions. Where's the setting?
Fresno.
We just drove to Fresno and our car broke down.
Yep.
And we're on
We
the
just
side
had a
of the
fight.
road.
And we can't look at each
Drama.
other.
I told you magic is real!
It's like, okay, so you're saying it's a magical demon. Now let's head over to Ohio because I lied to you.
More pants.
More pants in Ohio, bitch.
Are they warmer weather pants this time?
No, it's fucking cold. Oh, it's December, you're right. Carmel Township, Ohio, roughly 50 miles east of Cincinnati. December 12th. They have to wear the warm pants.
There's a Carmel in like every state.
There is a Carmel in every state, because there's literally one around here, and I was like, oh, wait, Carmel Area Creature, spoilers, is that here? No, it's Ohio.
Yeah. I mean, that would make more sense, given that Carmel by the Sea is quite close.
Indeed. 2014 is when this story takes place. A 60-year-old former Marine who elected to opt for anonymity was traveling along Carmel Road with his wife. So these Marine and wife 60-year-old couple are in Carmel Township, Ohio. They had only lived in the area for 30 days.
The wife is not 6 years old. Clarification.
The wife, no, 60.
Oh, okay, okay.
60.
I just misheard that.
They're old people. They had only lived in the area for 30 days, and I am led to assume enjoyed the area quite nicely. I'm not so much a Michigander that I can't admit that Ohio is a nice place sometimes. People from Michigan hate Ohio, and I think that's stupid.
Is
Ohio
Cincinnati
is like-
Ohio?
Yes.
Oh my god, so Cincinnati has a Jack in the Box and Chicago does not.
Yeah,
That's so
right?
stupid.
That's fucking
It's
weird.
really stupid.
They also have Skyline Chili.
Okay, I don't
Have you tried it?
think I can. I'm a vegetarian.
Ohio just
Oh,
makes
shit,
me
you
think of
can't.
like Mitt Romney.
It's
Try
Skyline
Skyline Chili. It might sound weird, but it's actually pretty good.
I see a
Mitt
can of it
Romney
for
really
$3
loves
at Meijer, and I'm
$7.
like, there's no
I don't know.
reason chili should be $3. Is it worth it?
Oh god, I've been living in the Bay Area too long.
Where?
I mean,
I was
Skyline
like,
chili-
$3? I can't get anything for $3.
That's true.
Around here, it is
You can
fucking
get
hard.
a
You can get
homeless
one
person
taco.
Kind of nice to you.
You can get one taco.
You can get one. The Bay Area scares me as a poor man.
It should. You'd be homeless.
I would.
I'd be
No,
homeless.
you wouldn't. You live here.
No,
No,
you
I
should
would
fi-
be.
you
Me
would
for
be
City
homeless.
Fox,
No,
the
no.
poor
I'm
fox.
saying he would squat in your.
Everybody listen to my podcast, subscribe to my Patreon, maybe even my coffee. Anyway, so these two people are living here, and after those 30 days, the two of them noticed one odd factor about their new abode. There was always a perfectly green patch of grass in a perfect circle in their front yard. Now keep in mind, this is the Midwest in winter. It snows in December. And that would certainly make an odd green patch of grass stick out. But we're not listening to this podcast for spooky fresh grass. And this would only be a prelude to the truly harrowing event that the couple would witness.
It's like, you gotta go to, like, Todd down the street to get that spooky fresh grass.
We realize the spooky fresh grass is, available in both California and
Michigan. It's legal.
and Colorado. We should talk about Colorado randomly.
Colorado?
Is there a sighting in Colorado?
No.
It's too cold. These are warm
That doesn't
weather
make sense.
pants.
So is Ohio.
Yeah, it's
cold
literally
as
snowing.
Colorado.
It's
Dude,
literally...
that was cold.
It's pretty cold.
It's the 12th of December, as I said in my notes. It was the 12th of December. And the two were driving home one night when something ran across the road in front of them. A 7-foot-tall, gray-skinned humanoid figure that looked a bit emaciated and also had no arms. This figure apparently had its knees on backwards, though that didn't impede the creature's mobility, and it lacked a mouth, and also eyes and a nose and ears, or at least as far as the couple could tell. This is the first sighting of a modern cryptid that would later be dubbed the Carmel Area Creature, and though its whole vibe has a few different traits from the Nightcrawlers, it's interesting that a second armless cryptid would make a midnight jaunt in 2010s, even though it would take place across the country.
You know, if that thing's 7 feet tall, like, the pants were originally 3 feet tall. That's pants for that thing.
Yeah, that's way taller than the pants.
It's like shorts.
Can I adjust my theory?
Yes.
I'm going to say that there... Have you seen the movie Us?
Yes.
Directed by Jordan Peele.
Yes, but I'm curious. Where
There
you're going
is
with
a
this.
web of underground tunnels in this country.
Okay.
And they're all filled with pants.
No.
The strategic pants reserve.
They're trying to clone pants, but what's happening is that
Does
it
the
doesn't
US have
quite
a
work.
strategic pants
And
reserve?
so occasionally,
I bet it does.
Let me fucking talk.
Yes.
This Crimson has the floor.
Goddamn, you stole my thunder.
I can edit it so that the thunder is fully in your possession.
Thank you. Imagine a giant network of tunnels crisscrossing the country, all filled with cloning facilities where they're trying to make new pants. But sometimes something goes terribly wrong. The pants grow huge, misshapen, malevolent. Or maybe not malevolent.
They're very gentle.
Yeah,
They seem pretty
we're
gentle.
talking for the movie. This is the movie adaptation.
Indeed.
And occasionally, some break out. Some get lost in the laundry. You've ever lost a sock?
Oh, I have.
If you have enough socks, you lose a few. Now imagine if you have enough giant 7-foot-tall pants creatures, armless pants creatures. Maybe they're getting better at some sort of like teleportation technology, and they're just getting it like bit by bit. At first, it was just like the lower torso, like or the lower pants part, but this one sounded like an emaciated humanoid,
Indeed.
meaning it had more physical features. They're getting better at it. We should be prepared.
Clones getting
Get
better.
your scissors. Snip, snip.
Us is a good movie. I liked Us.
It also
a lot.
had scissors.
It also did have scissors. God, Us was a really good movie, but also I'm not in any hurry to rewatch it.
Jordan Peele did a really good job with Get Out, and then he was like, guys, trust me, I'm about to make the weirdest fucking movie you'll ever see. Which is funny, considering the movie, at this point in the podcast recording, the movie Nope has not yet come out. But then I saw the trailer for Nope, and I was like, Jordan Peele, fucking calm down! You're making some crazy movies, and I love them, but you're a mad lad who scares me. Have you seen the trailer for Nope?
No. I'll watch it later.
It's
Dang it, I
weird.
should've
It's
said
weirder
Nope.
than Us. And it's weirder than Us.
That's nice.
I really like how he manages to do like takes on like he has takes and homages and elements of classic horror movies, but he does so many new and innovative things.
Yes.
And he also tells it like he often tells stories with an aspect of race that is really interesting.
Yes.
And like he gives really good views into things and like dynamics. Like Get Out was such a stellar movie for that.
Yeah.
And if you rewatch it, there's all these little things.
Hello, everyone. We will be discussing Get Out spoilers, so if you'd like to skip that, skip ahead to 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 22 seconds. Thank you very much.
Apparently, if you rewatch his girlfriend and just with the mindset of she is kidnapping him and does not want to be caught, the movie takes on an entirely different tone.
Yeah, I've rewatched it with that angle, and it is sheer brilliance. Like, fully.
Have you seen how she eats her cereal?
Yeah.
She ate her cereal.
Yeah, she divides it by
She
color.
she gets a bowl of dry cereal and a glass of milk, and she also divides her things by colors.
Which is
Okay, I was gonna say, I think a lot of people get a bowl of cereal, dry cereal, and a glass of milk, and pour the two together or
No,
something.
they don't put it together. She
She
eats a
eats the
spoonful.
dry ones and then takes a sip of milk.
which is like,
Smart.
if even if she didn't
It
do
is
all the
highly
things
efficient.
she ends
It's
up doing
creepy.
in that movie, I would judge her for it.
It's creepy and super efficient. I should try that.
I know, I was like, it sounds
Stop.
really good at distributing the milk that way.
No.
Stop praising.
And
She's
it's gotta
a-
stay crispy the whole time. she's
Yeah,
eating.
like, that's a good idea,
Like,
actually.
The point of cereal, and I hate cereal, but the point of cereal is to get that wheat as uncrispy as possible.
I actually agree. I like uncrispy cereal, but like if you like crispy cereal, that's literally the perfect way to eat it. Like, props to racist girlfriend who kidnaps black people do have their brains removed and put into old people. Also, spoilers for Get Out, everybody. Don't
Yeah,
listen to
spoilers
that
for Get Out. I forgot that movie isn't more than 10 years old.
Alrighty, the Get Out spoilers are over now, and in the rest of this episode, we aren't spoiling any media. You are all good. Thank you very much.
I think it's, after a few years, you can start spoiling
I don't want to
movies.
spoil it.
It's more than 5 years old at this point.
Once it gets to 10, it's free range. But I
Fuck
feel like
off.
some people haven't seen Get Out yet. I don't want to spoil it.
Well,
but you know
too
what?
late.
Future Forsetti can fix this because Future Forsetti is wise and smart.
This was some
I
good
don't think I
bits, though.
provided very many spoilers.
Everybody else did. Carmel Area Creature, everyone. Yummy, yummy caramel. Yummy, yummy chocolate caramel. The anonymous wife would actually draw a really nice sketch of the creature, and everyone who's driving pull over and look at it. But everyone in the room right now, boom. When I say really nice, please, she's fine. She does a good job. She did a fine job, everybody.
I don't.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's a lot creepier.
It's way creepier than the legs.
Looks like a Silent Hill.
It lost its pants. It needs its pants back.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Carmel Area Creature is scarier than the other one.
Oh my god. Now I'm thinking it might actually be a creature wearing pants as a disguise so that it doesn't... We don't... You know...
Dog.
Oh.
Holy fuck.
Wait. It comes in peace, but it knows its form terrifies us. So it wears giant pants to have a form that we find familiar.
Unless it's in Ohio.
It's cute.
A place where people know no fear.
It just wants people to get out and vote. Vote if you're in Ohio. Oh,
Is
God,
Ohio a
please.
swing state?
But
Yes.
only if you're Democrat.
We don't support the Democrats. We oppose the Republicans.
We oppose Republicans in this.
I mean,
podcast.
I slightly support the Democrats. Like,
Whatever's the one
They're
that
trying sometimes.
does the thing
They're
where
medium
I
effective
see trains in every
occasionally.
city and people of color get free money and I don't have to pay for student loans and weed gets legalized. That's the party for...
No. You have to legalize the weed first to pay for the other things.
Yes.
Seriously, can you imagine
It's
a
not orders of
federal
operations.
legalization of weed? Like, you start taxing it.
Life would
and
be
the
good.
revenue, like, do you know how much we get
That's
in
why
excise taxes for, like, alcohol and tobacco?
Yeah.
Can you imagine the weed excise tax?
there's a reason it's so legal in Wisconsin. It's because the Tavern League holds real power.
What the heck is a tavern league?
It's a voting group in Wisconsin that prevents things like weed being legal.
Wait, it's not legal.
That sounds like the main
No.
antagonists from Get Out.
It's basically a group of like different taverns, restaurants, bars, etc. And Wisconsin drinks a lot of beer. They go to bars
7 of the
real
10
hard.
7 of the 10 drunkest cities in the
Thing
U.S.
was
are in
actually-
Wisconsin.
Be real, I feel like
funny.
restaurants should fully welcome weed legalization. Like, that only helps them.
But they make more of their money on alcohol.
Oh, that's
You don't
true.
go to the bar when you've had your joint, and you typically aren't going. I'd much
I want to get a joint at a bar. That sounds fun.
I'd rather smoke.
I would,
mean,
and
you
that's
can
a
do that at
personal bar.
the Eagle.
Not the Eagle, because if I'm high, I want to lie down. Weed is not the right drug for that setting.
Okay, I know a guy who can score us an 8-ball.
I'm good.
That's
wasn't sure if
cocaine!
I wasn't sure if he knew that.
I
but,
know cocaine!
I knew that.
I trusted you to know cocaine. I want to know if he knew cocaine.
I know what coke is.
I'm not gonna edit this out because I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of myself for,
For knowing what an
cocaine
8-ball is.
And anybody can go to jail, but I'll have my pride.
I don't think it's illegal to know what coke is.
I don't actually have cocaine, and I am unable to sell cocaine.
Me and my dad are gonna do cocaine. Me and my dad decided we're gonna do cocaine. It's an inside joke between me and my dad. We're doing cocaine.
I haven't done cocaine since I was in the Navy, so...
Yeah?
You did
yeah.
cocaine in the Navy?
Didn't
No.
they give you meth in like the Second World War or something?
That is actually true, yes.
Yeah.
Meth
Not
and
the
chocolate.
Yeah, it was actually like, first it was the army...
You gotta do
tank
both. You
drivers.
can't just give them meth.
Yeah, gotta get the chocolate in there somehow.
Uh,
Yeah, no, first it was the tank drivers for like the Blitzkrieg invasions of Poland and France, and then it was actually the pilots when they were bombing Britain. Because we didn't have a lot of them, and so they needed to do a couple of this. And that works better when you're on meth.
Yeah.
I should try
Meth.
I don't think you
Don't
should
try
try
meth.
meth. That's like the one that sucks. Can I have a
it.
little more wine?
How does it suck? People let themselves be killed by it.
That's,
It's like,
that's by design.
yes, because it's so good you want to die.
Like, cocaine doesn't do that. Shrooms don't do that.
Yeah.
They are like, enjoy your life. Have a good Molly is the one I was looking for, not cocaine.
I mean, Molly kills you sometimes. If you
Yeah, but the design of Molly is enjoy yourself a little bit before you do it. Meth is like, yeehaw, we're on meth and we're suffering. Have you ever listened to "We All Shall Be Healed," the concept album by the Mountain Goats?
If you ever listen to
Every
a
couple
audio
of minutes,
version of the
someone says
Wikipedia
they
article
can't
of the
stand
invasion
it
of Poland,
anymore.
This is a very jarring two things to be hearing. Mountain Goat lyrics and World
Whatever
War II
that was.
deep lore.
it wasn't deep lore, it was the invasion of Poland. It's like,
Deep lore.
it's not deep lore, it's like, what even is that? It's
Tip of the
like,
iceberg lore. What's the World War II
Damn it.
iceberg?
oh, the World War II iceberg, like the, top would probably be, like I said, like the beginning of the war, and also stuff like D-Day and stuff. It's like the very bottom is something like Germany sent a couple U-boats to Singapore to help the Japanese attack the Americans. Or like the mid-tier is like Germany actually sunk a lot of American shipping in front of the East Coast for like a couple weeks.
Wait, why?
Because we sent like 6 U-boats over here just to like cause some man. We actually called it the Second Spring because you weren't at all prepared for that, and we like sunk 30 or 40 ships with 6 U-boats.
Jesus.
Yeah, because you weren't prepared at all. You were like, okay, why would they ever come here? It was pointless, and I think everybody died.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh, interesting enough,
What do you mean?
Our friends from Canada actually, I think their grandpa worked for the Canadian public broadcasting station. I think CBS or something it's called. And they had like a little,
That's something else in America.
yeah, and they might be called something different, but basically they had like a little outpost on like an island just for broadcasting reasons. And they actually sometimes saw the German U-boat surface in front of the island to get on land to get water, fresh water.
Oh my god.
And it was great. And they were like, okay, we're not going to do anything about it because they're probably going to shoot us if we do anything. So they just pretended nothing was happening.
That's fucking bonkers.
Because they just shouldn't they have like quietly informed the military?
I mean, they were probably aware of that happening, but like, what are you going to do? Like, if you call them right now, like, they're not going to come fast enough anyway. So like, what's like maybe they informed them, but like, they weren't going to specifically go out and like.
Oh no, but
tell them
it
to
would help
stop.
them keep track of shit moving.
That's true, yeah. Well, it was World War II. Things were a little weird back then.
Clever weird back then. Puma 2022 about World War II. The anonymous wife would draw a really nice sketch of the creature, which I just showed everybody. I also have a quote from the wife. We recently bought a place in the... Interesting that you're...
Well, the thing is, Pup is being very mean to me right now.
You could just be quiet about getting bullied. We
I'm
recently
totally
bought a
bullying
place in the Fort Hill area in southwest Highland County. We first noticed after about 30 days of living here that we suddenly had a perfect circle that stays fresh green, no matter what weather, in our front yard. On Friday night, the 12th, we were driving home. After turning on Carmel Road, which leads to our road, we went around the curve by the Carmel Church and then up a small incline, and approximately 10 feet over the incline in the woods of our truck, the alien ran across the road and into the woods. The couple made a post on the UFO Tracker website, and Ron McClone, a reporter from MUFON, followed up with more questions on the sighting, noticing the similarities between this and the Nightcrawlers. And that's about as far as this story goes. One sighting on one evening, very easily a one-off, though baffling if taken at face value. A lot of investigators link these stories together, claiming that the same sort of entity was found in both California and Ohio, and regardless of whether or not you believe the story, I'd be curious to suss out the thoughts on that. Although I'll get into the explanations rather shortly.
Maybe it's a skinwalker.
I don't think skinwalkers usually turn into pants.
They can do whatever the fuck they want, and the more we talk about them, the more they know I exist.
These ones are branded by Nike. Nike sponsored Skinwalker.
The most boring dystopia. Even the supernatural evils need corporate sponsors now.
Just do it.
That's so horrifying.
Just do it.
If Facebook...
Don't think about the consequences, just do it.
Facebook comes forward and we're like, we found Bigfoot, and we minted NFTs of him.
Yikes.
Imagine.
I feel like that's more of a TikTok move.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No, yeah.
Facebook would actually be the one to find Bigfoot, though.
Then TikTok would jump in with the profs.
You just have, like, people dancing on a giant printed out NFT that was free because you can just print out an NFT.
Indeed.
Because, seriously, non-fungible token, get fucked.
If you're getting non-fungible, I don't even want to talk to you. I want to be as fungal as possible. Fungible as... The joke here is that I'm sexually attracted to mushrooms.
You are. It's weird.
It's good. It's valid. Anyway.
No, I'm just kidding. It makes you a real fun guy.
There's not much room for puns in this podcast.
Nice.
No cap.
We'll keep a Michael lid on the mushroom jokes for now.
Are you too old to say no cap? I don't know where the cutoff for that one is.
It's fine when it's with the mushroom pun.
God, no.
Because they got a cap on them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, we could start talking like obnoxious parents soon, and just like make all the children cringe.
Wait till the podcast's done recording.
Okay. All right. So as uncool as possible.
I'm real jazzed about that, Daddy. No, that's more retro.
That's retro.
Daddy-o.
You're cool again.
Say daddy-o.
Fuck. Hey, Daddy-o.
I think that's cool.
You
Actually.
know you're old
No.
because you can't
Okay.
immediately conjure the image of the children's slang. It takes effort. It doesn't
Pay
come
attention
naturally.
to
to you.
children.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, I don't know either.
It doesn't matter because I'm not interacting with children to think I'm uncool yet.
Which reminded me of a YouTube streamer who's interacting with children and was surprisingly good with kids. Like he was.
Should I plug
Some
some?
people are good with kids.
Oh, it's video game Donkey. So like,
Oh, yeah, I'm
yeah.
great with my cousins. I was great
Donkey.
with my cousins when they were kids. Mostly because I would just let them climb all over me and toss them around. And then get yelled at as soon as someone cried. Which of course fucking happened because children cry. Anyway.
I fucking
I'm over
wrecked
it.
I don't
my
know,
nephews
don't-
in
don't-
I'm a
Mario
well-adjusted
Kart.
adult. I'm over it.
Donkeys was kind of fun because like he's trolling the kids, but like in the nicest way. It's really funny. So they all
Tony
ends with them
Hawk is really good
laughing.
with kids. He just sometimes goes around on skate parks like, hey, do a kickflip, and then they do it, and then he gives them skateboards.
That's really
It's
funny.
really funny, yeah.
It's like, hey, it's
But to
Tony
be fair,
Hawk.
Tony Hawk does have a daughter, so
Dude,
like,
Tony
I guess
Hawk
he
is
can do-
awesome though.
He's
Like,
hilarious.
if you ever see him on social media, he just does nice things sometimes.
Oh,
for
isn't he
people.
like 60 now?
And he also has,
He's
yes,
old, but he can still shred.
he also has existential crisis like every other day, because people will be like, so we deleted this order because some dumbass thought he's being funny and said he's Tony Hawk. It's like, oh, I'm Tony Hawk. Like, oh, okay, let me just bring that back up.
That's great.
There's like 20 of those occurrences that he documented. Or another goes like, oh, look, a skateboard by Tony Hawk. Hey, who's Tony Hawk?
Yes.
Like, that's me actually.
Anthony Hawk. Huh, just like Tony Hawk.
Yes.
Someone at the airport security went off to him.
That's so good. It's so good.
That's amazing.
Poor Tony
I love
Hawk.
it.
It's so great.
To
'cause
be
it's-
fair, I'm guessing more people know his name than his
Yeah,
face.
exactly.
Yes.
That's the issue. Like, 'cause,
Yeah.
like, people are gonna kind of know him, but like, he's
He's
still
not an
like,
actor,
just
is
a
the thing, yeah.
skateboarder, basically. Like, he's an athlete, but in like not a very niche thing. He just got popular because he was like the best of all time, I guess.
We're at the end of the story, y'all. Explanation section. I'm just gonna rattle through some notes and then we'll collect some thoughts from the room. Alright, so the big main explanation is that this is a hoax for popularity and there is evidence that this is possible to make a video like this. Because the story takes place around the 2010s and it's possible to fake anything. No one ever disclosed their identity is the only factual caveat I have. But in the case of the Carmel Area Creature, people think that the sighting could have been a deer that was standing up. There's a picture for that. Deer standing up.
I think the Adventure Time episode now.
Yeah, that's pretty much just that. I don't know if they'll pull up a picture, that's good. There's no way that this could be the go-to explanation for the Fresno Nightcrawlers, because the Fresno Nightcrawlers are not a deer standing up. Very much so. Some people are also like, it's a bird, but that's as far as they go with the Carmel Area Creature. They kind of gave up on that. In terms of folkloric stuff, every article ever claims that there is a sort of Native American benevolent being type thing, but no tribe that I'm aware of has ever actually really claimed to have anything like that as a part of their belief.
I'm really surprised. It shouldn't be. You know what? Right now, we should call just every tribe in the area and just ask them, "Hey, you know about the fucking walking wishbones?" Seriously, like, did somebody ask them?
I think that's the thing, like, nobody asked them, and then a lot of people came forward and was like, hey, no one asked us about this. We don't believe it. Like, a lot of articles with paranormal stuff sometimes would be like, and I'm making up this part about indigenous people's beliefs. Yeehaw! And then people later from the actual communities would be like, no, we don't believe that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
We don't talk about
The
Bruno.
walking wishbones, I think, were never a part of the rich cultural history of the American natives.
They're not.
Would
That's,
you know?
that's this paragraph.
We
Colonizer. I'm
made
just
them
kidding.
honorary Aryans actually during World War II.
Did you?
Yes,
That's
we
great.
did. So we actually made the
What the fuck
specifically.
happened in World War II?
Specifically, that's like a lower part of the iceberg. But yeah, we made the Navajo honorary Aryans, hoping that the code talkers would switch to our side.
That's really fun.
What the
Right?
fuck?
It's crazy.
Why do they think that would work?
Well, it didn't. Like, they tried a lot back then.
That's
But
fair. They might as well.
No, like Nazi, like I guess in their Nazi ideology, they were like, oh yeah, we can't give America to the natives. I guess it's just not because we have oil.
That's so fucking bonkers.
It is very bonkers. It's very bonkers. It's great.
Jesus.
World War II was a crazy time.
Yeah.
Like people always talk about World War I because of that stupid YouTube show, but a lot more shit happened in World War II because that was like
Well, obviously.
just because it's closer to memes than World War I was.
World War One is closer to
Yeah.
memes because World War One
Okay.
didn't have as many war crimes.
Did it not though?
As many.
War
Like there's
crimes
not a
are
zero.
by-
I feel like most of what the Germans did wrong in World War II aren't technically war crimes. It's just genocide, which is slightly different.
It's not a
I
war
think
crime.
it's a war crime when it's being done by soldiers.
I think it's a war crime.
Also, it's mostly done by
But
soldiers.
they weren't like, how's it a war? I mean, like, I'm not trying to imply that it's in any way, good to commit genocide.
This is a Foxxo Esoterica episode where we're talking about silly pants and war crimes.
But, but I don't see how it's a war crime
No, because
if
it
you're
was done-
persecuting your own people.
It was done by uniformed members of a military, and also they did it in the countries they occupied.
Oh, they're the
Like, it was mostly
occupied.
Polish
Okay.
Jews. Like, a lot
Alright,
of
then
German Jews
that's a
actually
war
got out
crime
before that.
if it's again in another country's territory.
Now that we know about what's and what isn't a war crime, actual wooden statues have been built and placed around the Fresno area without anyone coming forward to claim them that kind of resemble the Fresno
Kind of resemble.
What do they look like?
the Fresno Nightcrawlers.
Prepare pictures for
Find
that?
a fucking picture. Make me
Oh,
Google it,
it's a
goddammit.
cult. There's a cult of the sweatpants
Oh my God.
people.
It
like
happened at
the
a
sister-
DMV that I couldn't find the address
Isn't
from.
there like the Sisterhood of the Traveling Yoga Pants?
God damn it.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Fresno is an enclave of the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
Look at my. Okay, my God. I don't want to. The Fresno Bee is an article that you have to pay money on to use, and I don't want to. Here they are, everybody. Here's the wooden statues.
What? That doesn't look like a wishbone.
Indeed, it doesn't.
Well,
That's
I
why
guess-
this
I
is
guess
a
it's
one-off
just a-
paragraph where I'm like, maybe people consider it, but probably it
Legs.
isn't. It's legs. That's fun. What am I angry about? War crimes.
That's a good bet.
Yeah, the thing about these wooden statues is that I don't know where they are. Every single article is like a Californian DMV has these around the area, but none of the articles say which one specifically, but pictures of them exist, obviously, so it's not like they don't exist, but that's a weird angle to this that I haven't figured out. If we get into the full-on alien mode, a lot of UFO enthusiasts who study this story link the Nightcrawlers to an insect-esque, almost mantis-like alien who's often reported on board UFOs during alien abductions.
We actually got some breaking news here, some developments on the story for Fresno Nightcrawler. There might be a link to Chernobyl.
You can't make jokes that require people to see your phone. It's a
I know.
podcast.
People can laugh and then laugh along with their parasocial relationship friends.
For everybody at home, Puma showed me a meme on his phone. Anyway, people sometimes like the Fresno Nightcrawlers. That looks an awful lot like the time I got on board a UFO and was abducted, and there was a surgery thing going on where a mantis-like alien was operating on me. Shouting out Astonishing Legends again, my favorite paranormal podcast, for introducing me to this story. But one of the most prolific mantis alien stories I've ever heard involves, this is a total fucking non sequitur. Sorry if I'm confusing anyone. Involves a man, not that it's a non sequitur that I don't believe it, it's much as like, what's the connection? I'll leave it for you all to decide. I've heard a man named Terry Lovelace come forward about his story called Incident at the Devil's Den. I say called because he actually wrote a book called Incident at the Devil's Den, detailing him and his military friend going camping in Arkansas one night, off base, before getting put in a trance, seeing a massive, like fully many hundreds of meters massive floating triangle, and then waking up later to see a field full of, quotes, children, quotes. Long story short, there was a praying mantis alien operating on Lovelace, even going as far as saying a particularly chilling line along the lines of, why are you even complaining about the pain? We're gonna wipe your memory anyway. Anyway, you know the alien crowd, they love connections, and the people who report this mantis-type dude sometimes saying, those weird walking pair of pants kinda look like that dude. Which is weird because they don't look like a praying mantis to me. I don't know why people are making that connection. Thoughts?
You know, they did used to kind of do that with babies. Like, the thing where, like, Do babies feel pain? Who cares? They won't remember it.
And they
That
did
turns
remember
out they did
They
remember
do.
it. That was a bad idea.
Crimson, you had a far less horrifying comment.
Oh, I think the one in Ohio.
Kind of looks like a
very
praying mantis.
similar. I could see it being the praying mantis. It's possible those are entirely different cryptids, and that Jose
Got something
came
different.
like it could have even just been like a weird breeze carrying like something in it. Maybe there's plenty of
Potentially.
plausible explanations for the one-off video.
But he would see the pants later without getting a recording of it.
Oh.
And that's his word for it. And he is, at this point in time, a deceased man.
Then he took the truth to his grave.
Indeed. The main point about this
All
is
over
that
the backseat.
a lot of the alien crowd who are big alien believers, which maybe I am, I'm not saying I'm not, like to link the pants to the sort of aliens that perform the surgeries on people. You know, like, the alien crowd is really specific about the types of aliens they see. They'll see the, like, gray aliens, which are the big Area 51 dudes with the big eyes, and they have a big head and small body. And those are the probers. But the pants are doing the surgery. And I don't know where you all sit with that comment, but a lot of people report that comment, so I wanted to let y'all sit with that before I move on.
Pants are doing surgery.
The pants are doing the surgery. To conclude my conclusionary information, I googled cryptids and or other mythological creatures without any arms that are just legs, and here's what I found. It's not related to the story, but check out this Wikipedia page on the Ono centaur. It's a centaur, but without any extra limbs.
What?
Everybody look at this picture I found online.
That's like
Curious.
a quadrupedal satyr.
It's a centaur without any extra limbs.
That sounds awful. Like, that thing must be in constant pain.
It's so off balance, and it's the funniest thing I've ever seen. Everybody look up ONOCENTAUROS on Google Images. You will not be disappointed. The literal only other thing I could find was the Egyptian god Medjed, who is mentioned in the Book of the Dead and is seen on a hieroglyphic, I believe. But, much like everyone's favorite Norse god Forseti, there is just not that much information on him. Shouts to Forseti, the god where there's not a lot of information about. He does, however, look like an Among Us dude. Like a big torso with no heads, according to the hieroglyphic. Imagine Among Us, that's what this dude looked like, but with eyes instead of just a visor.
It was a prank by time travelers, but they got the Among Us timing wrong.
Indeed. And they called him Medjed. Which is to say, it could also just be a deity. Like, there's not a lot of information on this guy, so it's a little bit of a non sequitur. The thing about Medjed, though, is that he apparently shoots rays of light from his eyes, and his torso is actually a robe that he wears, and his nickname is the Smiter. That's all we know.
The Smiter.
In the creepypasta world, which is fake, there's a degree to which the Nightcrawlers have a Slender Man vibe to them, with the long limbs, but if I were to really dig into it...
They're like objectively adorable, though.
They are.
Yeah.
Which is why I actually subvert your expectations by continuing on with the script I wrote.
How would it even kill me?
If I were really to dig into it, I'd say that the Carmel Area Creature looks specifically like the Rake, kind of, which was a creepypasta about a pharaoh-looking humanoid that stalked people and then went into the rooms, and I do believe that story surfaced in 2005, and it is entirely fake. It is not a real story. There are a couple of other sightings of Nightcrawlers / Carmel Area Creatures, but they are only text-based, and a lot of them are from Reddit, so we'll see what y'all believe. But Reddit user Bundmara talks about a sighting in Lompoc, California, 50 miles up the coast of LA, outside of the Vandenberg Air Force Base. Our narrator was visiting their mother, who lives off of Highway 1, or Route 1, when they described the following. This is my Bundmara impression.
I saw the tall black figure walking alongside the hill. It was about a quarter of the size of a telephone pole, and it was relatively skinny.
Sorry, what was this guy's name?
Bandmara, this isn't an impression based on anything.
Okay.
It has no arms and apparently to walk the same manner as the videos, except hunched over slightly, as if it was looking for something. Our narrator also talks about their dog, who was otherwise a quiet dog, but started barking after that encounter, and would often bark at seemingly nothing in particular later on, even if there's nothing in the room. And it also mentions that this narrator had no idea what the creature was until they went on to see the videos of the Fresno Nightcrawler, which brought on a bit of shock. This post was posted in 2015. In 2019, a user by the name of 100 Aliens made a post about an experience that they and a friend had experienced on New Year's Day at 3 in the morning. They were on the Playa Ancon coast of Cuba when they saw an odd, white, illuminated pair of legs and a head around 300 meters away. Not the head was that big. It was, like, very far away. The user, being named 100 Aliens, recognized this immediately as potentially being a Fresno Nightcrawler. Though the odd thing was that before the narrator saw the creature, their friend told them that apparently the Nightcrawler had stood at the water's edge, motionless, stepped into the ocean to submerge itself, then stepped back. The narrator stood motionless, as did the Nightcrawler, until the cryptid began moving towards the two, prompting them to get horrified and leave. They asked around the town and then revisited the beach later out of curiosity, but nobody knew what it was and they could find no answers whatsoever. There was, lastly, to finish up the comment section sightings, a comment on the Highland County's press website written by a man who went by the name of Steven, and I thought I'd take a gander at it. And by take a gander, I mean post verbatim, it's short enough. My brother, sister, and I saw a gray/brown faceless and armless creature that was around 7 foot tall at dusk in the late fall of 1980 or 1981. It was in the area around Xenia, Ohio.
What the fuck?
It trotted our direction from about 150 to 200 yards away. We were up against some large trees, and I don't think it saw/heard/smelled us because it went right on by. Its trot was considerably faster than a man's fastest run. I don't recall seeing eyes, and because it was running at us, I don't recall which direction the knees bent, like a man or like an ostrich. It did not smell, and it didn't make any noises. I distinctly remember not being afraid at all.
Why would you be afraid of this thing? It's like such a derp.
I would be not afraid of it. I would look at this with nothing but joy
Like
in my eyes.
if this was secretly a supernatural predator who used that to lower the guard of its prey, totally succeeded. I would die. You got me.
It would
feast on my corpse.
trample over me. I don't think it has a mouth, but it would eat me. But yeah, we have all of our cards on the table. What do you all think of the story before I get into the thing I wrote and can't go back on?
Okay. 0% chance of this being a thing.
Chance.
0% chance.
Okay.
That's stronger than my usual.
What is the story? Oh, we did Michigan Dogman, right?
Yeah, that was like, I don't think so. Like, I guess you could have some sort of weird human hype. I don't know. Biologically, I guess the design makes some sense.
Yeah, but
this is just like a 0% chance. It's
this
like,
one's
no.
like in your neighborhood, though.
This one
This
is
one's around.
This is a shit post, but it's a good shit post.
I love these so much because they are a shit post. This is the shit
so
post
cute.
cryptid. Puma, do you have any thoughts?
No.
No.
Still thinking about Wishbone just walking up to me. Like, what am I... Like, I'm gonna be freaked out.
Yeah.
But, like, what's it gonna do to me? It looks
That's the
very soft.
thing. What is this thing gonna do? It doesn't...
It looks very soft to me, is the thing.
Yeah.
Like, otherwise, like, obviously it's not real. Like, it's a stupid wishbone that looks like... It doesn't look like a wishbone if you really get down to it, because the wishbone would be, like, hard and edgy, but those guys were soft.
In their pants.
Soft and flappery. They're
pants.
just walking pants.
Okay.
So it's like, again, like, the thing that I really get hung up on was, like, first off, the photos look like a shit post, which I like, but second off, what is its purpose?
That's the thing I have been trying to figure out, because, like, every single story I do, I believe it until I'm proven wrong. And obviously it's easy to prove this one wrong, but, like, if it's real, I couldn't... That's the thing. Like, I like to approach every story I do on Foxxo Esoterica assuming it's real. And then where do I go from there? Like, if this is real, what the fuck is it trying to accomplish? Because
I think it's just walking its kids. It's just existing.
I hope that's the case.
It's like, yeah, I think it's just having a normal, happy day, and then people
Aliens
are
taking their kids out to the park.
harassing it and their children, and they're like, God damn it. Why do we even come to this fucking planet?
If you're an alien, I wouldn't recommend coming to Earth. I don't think you would have any fun. People will make a silly little podcast episode about your legs.
Legs. No, it's a 0% chance.
Here are my notes that I wrote and I'm doubling down on even though I didn't read them until now. I personally am very on the fence at the time of me writing this, but I imagine all of my guests are going to actually convince me it's fake. Hey! Look at me.
Prediction.
I have to remember that you can hoax a video and then not take credit for it. Like, that can just be fun for some people and is entirely within the realm of possibility. You don't have to have your name attached to have a good time.
People do lie on the internet a lot.
People lie on the internet
like,
a lot.
constantly. If you go on Reddit's, like... Reddit is full of creative writing posts.
Two-sentence horror stories.
That's my favorite.
But this story is so zany and goofy that I imagine it'd be hard to claim that this is the very first idea you'd come up with if you want to do an alien hoax. There's just nothing like it outside of the Carmel Area Creature, obviously. And that if you came up with this and ran with it, it would be stupid.
I mean, I don't believe this exists, but, like, I really hope this gets more popular, because this thing's adorable.
So cute. I love him so much.
I don't care if it's a hoax. I want more of this stuff out there. It's cute.
Honestly, this is like... So as far as modern legends and cryptids go, we don't have the most of all time. We have the monoliths from last year. Do you guys remember that?
No. Oh yeah, kind of.
Random monoliths showed up and then people tore them down because they're hurting the environment and nobody knew what it was about. Very weird. And then Mothman's in Chicago. That's the other one I know.
I thought he was in the Northeast.
He moved.
Oh.
Like, he went to Chicago in the past
He probably
5
couldn't afford to
years.
live there anymore.
Chicago's expensive.
Not as expensive as New York.
No, he was in West Virginia.
Oh.
Mountain Mama.
Oh, he was a mountain one. I was thinking the Northeast and not the, like,
You're thinking
East.
Jersey Devil.
Yeah.
And or Dover Demon.
I was like, they can't afford to live there anymore.
Yeah.
Mothman, I don't know. He got tired of coal.
Cryptids are coming to Chicago because it is cheaper.
Probably not cheaper than West Virginia.
Yeah, West Virginia is a very economical place to live.
Looking at two-sentence horror now because you brought it up.
You can rattle a couple off. I'll let it happen for the podcast. And if copyright comes for me, then they can sunk my
I
knob.
really, really need to piss. This wouldn't be a problem if not for the fact my stupid neighbor Darren superglued my urethra stuff in my sleeve.
That's actually pretty easy to get rid of.
Okay.
Is it a funny two-sentence horror story?
Finally, I'm all alone, I said to myself as I sat in my bedroom at midnight. No, you're not, said Knife Guy.
Knife Guy!
That's as good as an outro as
Oh
possible.
my god. Mama always said I was destined for greatness. That sentence repeated in my mind as I flew the attack helicopter into the daycare.
Why?
I don't even know. Like, it's an attack helicopter.
Terrorism.
Just bumped the daycare.
He's doubling up the movie.
Don't click this. Darn, now you're cursed. Technically 3 sentences, right? The darn with the exclamation mark.
Oh, yeah.
They could have just changed it to a comma, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Semantics, Pop, we're judging them harshly now. We're killing them when they let their guard down. Don't punch my balls! Ah, my gut! Less bad, but still meaningful.
That's more wine.
Probably. I have one less. I haven't done a particularly modern story in a while, so it's been a really fun jaunt for something that's only really started 15 years ago, which is rare for Foxxo Esoterica. I've been on a huge fucking historical kick lately. I imagine this story could develop more. Like, honestly, if the legs are real, if the legs are not, people are going to put some videos out on this.
Please post
in
more.
time to
These
come.
are really very cute legs. I want to see more of these.
Yeah, this is one that I would recommend everybody in the audience keep their pulse, the finger on the pulse of, because I will be. I think it's a fun story. But with that being said, does anybody have any closing thoughts?
There's probably an
My
SCP on
Airbnb
this.
guest said to me, "This bed is warm and comfortable. I don't have the heart to tell him it's where we last viewed the ghost Victorian child."
Well, I was going to say something and I forgot because of your stupid horror.
Well,
I remember.
Yeah.
I bet there's an SCP of this.
Oh, there has to be. This kind of almost looks like the one that is the Weeping Angels. I don't remember which number it is. Like the one that looks like a weird doll, but it's the Weeping Angel from Doctor
Yeah. I don't know. I like the phase they're in now where they went from like classic horror story to boo, classic horror is boring. Let's be all let's talk about characters, and then it gets weirdly self-referential. So at some point they talk about like narratives and things, and now we're moving past that. We're on like, here's horror stories.
I don't think I've ever
SCPs
watched
are
Doctor
so
Who,
fun.
like a single episode.
It's fun.
Honestly, I wouldn't recommend it. No, I loved Doctor Who when I was young, and I know for a fact if I watch it again right now as a 25-year-old,
It's like a Supernatural when I put them
Kill
on
the
for fun,
fucking moon. That episode.
and we watched 6.
That episode kind
Is
of
that
broke.
the one? Doctor Who spoilers for those who care. Is that the one where the moon
It's
is
an
an
egg. And then they're like, no, we can't let it hatch. We need a moon. And then they just let it hatch, and it's like, and another egg is laid. It's like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this bullshit?
For instance, Stellaris.
God damn it!
You can find an anomaly that's like, so our scientists are pretty sure that this planet is an egg, so what are we going to do about it? You can either leave it alone or you can just try to crack it.
That was the same season where, like, the Doctor and his friends were in modern time, and then it's like, oh my god, the sun is about to do a solar flare and hurt the Earth. And the trees grew everywhere, and the trees grew in everybody's streets and home, and the trees sucked up the solar flare, and then went back to normal. And then everybody in the present day was like, this is fine, we will forget about this.
Oh my god.
I don't know if I made it that far.
Doctor Who, everyone.
It used to be less dumb than that.
It did. Doctor Who, everyone. I don't want to leave this episode talking about Doctor Who. Somebody say something cool and fun and horny.
So, when I watched Pump Talker, it was like the first time that
Thank
environmentalism actually made me cry.
Then you picture all the raccoons losing their homes.
No, I picture like the whole like concept. No, I think that one hit me because like all environmentalist movies I watched up until that point, like it was fine in the end. But Pump Talker had the balls to say, it's not fine anymore.
It's
We're
not.
already past the point of no return.
That's
Try
Miyazaki,
to do
baby.
damage control. Yeah. And that movie came out in the 90s. It was an early Ghibli film too. It's really horrifying.
No, it hasn't gotten better. Sorry, this is a worse outro now.
Well, we're going with it, and I'm pressing stop.
That'll conclude this episode of Foxxo Esoterica. Thank you for once again joining in on this story on everyone's favorite leggy boys. To quote friends from the Cryptoboozology podcast who have also made an episode on these lads, and often affectionately refer to the Nightcrawlers as such. I'll post a link to their episode in the description as well. Also, speaking of posting things, I want to try something new for this episode. I'm going to post my sources in the show notes so you can all look into the stories a bit if you want on your own time. Mostly because copying and pasting the text in order to do so is way easier than trying to find the articles I talk about without mentioning any link or anything. However, it is now time for the review corner. Tonight we're going to be talking about this little podunk park called Yosemite National Park. I think I talked about it in the podcast, I've never heard of it before. Marco Carrick writes, too many people acting like they are in the city. Rude, loud, and obnoxious people who drive at very unsafe speeds. There was trash floating at the bottom of the falls, and cigarette butts everywhere. 1 star. Don't stand so close, writes, bear will eat your children. If you don't have kids, just stay out anyway. It's crowded and the rock stinks. 1 star. JC writes, this place is ruined by the day hikers, in quotes, and tourists. Park is egregious if you don't arrive before the crack of dawn. The entire valley needs to be demolished and reconstructed. 1 star. Okay, so I was planning on making a really funny bit, kind of like that one book where they have really gorgeous scenic pictures of national parks captioned with 1-star reviews. I'll probably post a link to that too, because I forgot the title. But for Yosemite National Park, like, 60% of the 1-star reviews were people complaining about needing a reservation to visit, which, like, wasn't funny. And then 30% of the reviews were actually racist. I wouldn't recommend looking it up. Anyway, I'd like to once again thank my lovely guests, Zuma, Crimson, and Kay. You are all lovely, and that age-old adage of the more the merrier is certainly true. Though they could also just add furrier. The more the furrier. It's a funny joke. Anyway, you can find Foxxo Esoterica on Anchor, Breaker, Google Podcasts, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Spotify, and YouTube. You can also follow me on Twitter at FORSETIFOX, and you can support Foxxo Esoterica on Patreon and Coffee at FORSETIFOX for both. Thanks to Sunel Chiquito for the podcast artwork, and everyone, have a good night. Don't let the Nightcrawlers bite. If they even have mouths, I guess that sort of thing's undecided. Okay, Rigdiagdadite. Cognatrium Gilit und Gin? Just Gin? Okay, Rigdiagdadite. If you're still here in these woods and maybe speak English or do telepathy, I would appreciate it so much, please. Like, actually, like, can you just read my intentions? My intentions are really cool and normal and valid, and it's really just curiosity. This isn't a language anyone speaks anymore. You have to know. Literally, none of my friends know where it came from. That sounded condescending. So sorry. Look, the weird chimeric transformation thing last time was really neat, really powerful magic, but I don't know nearly enough about it, and I would totally serve you in, like, any way you desire, just to have an audience with you again. Okay, I don't know if you can hear me. I can't hear you, but, I just want to warn you that, there's another being I'm going to try to contact, or summon in these woods, and I don't want any bad blood if that's something you'd be jealous over. I'm going to take your silence to mean you're totally cool with it, because if you ever change your mind, that's also cool, and you can just please let me know, because I'll immediately do anything for you. I think Robert the Doll was cool with it, if that makes you feel any better. If you can hear me.